This is INMF.
Amen, Daddy-o. What's going on, man?
What's up, family? Oh man, I love hearing them great sounds of people dripping the board Bariquas, man.
Hey, man, you can't catch me. I'm going with that. You can't. Because
I'm,
I almost
I'm,
forgot
I'm just,
to turn on the light. I forgot to turn on the light. Eventually, I'm going to sell enough food stamps to be able to get me an actual light. But for right now, I'm using, them push button lights that you use to like light up your walkway. Have you ever been to somebody's rich neighborhood and they got like the lights lined up along the sidewalk? Those are push
yeah.
lights. So what happens is you push them, turn them on, and you push them, turn them off. Oh, I think I heard a kid. You push them, turn them on, you push them, turn them off. Well, I got one of them out in front of my computer, and that's how you ever see all this melting. Basically.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't betting on that, but I mean, you took it where it
Yeah,
needed to
yeah.
go.
So,
Yeah, but yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that next Peebo Drip single, man. Funky felines abound.
yeah. I mean, they, 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 they last album, what was the name of it? Who Draws Is These? It was,
Oh yes, with that single
yeah,
purring on your
man.
kitten.
I always wondered, like, what's the creative steps to create like masterpiece? Like, I'm not really an artistic individual, but to come up with that shit, I believe that artistic creativity borders alongside insanity. If you think about it, all of our artistic greats at some point went full blown fucking crazy.
Mm.
I think mentally the mind can't handle that, and as a result, you achieve artistic greatness, but the byproduct of that is psychosis.
Well, the Bible says a man will be judged by his words and by his writings and his works. So, to a degree, when you start to create art,
Mm-hmm.
there you can either become enthralled in it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like if you start to act like you're this gangster. Well, actually, if we can use humankind, you can go back to school. You can recall guys who were very humble and very socially distant in school, and then now they're adults. Like these guys are like super
Yeah.
thugs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Tattoos on the eyeballs. Gotta have a gun everywhere. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it's like, dude, I remember your mama. She brought donuts for everybody in school. you know.
Yeah.
So it's like you can create characters and you can live vicariously through those characters to escape reality. The curse of an artist is that people don't understand your art.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Most like Kurt Cobain, it was said that he killed himself because he did a show on MTV Unplugged and he intentionally didn't sing the proper
Yeah.
words, and people were still
Yeah.
eating it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. And the song. I mean, now when you mentioned, I know the story. I never really paid a lot of attention to it, but I know the song. There was a song that he performed on SNL, and they were having him censor the song to a degree that he disagreed with. So, Cuz got on stage and was on some, like mumbling the words of
Yeah, yeah. On that never mind.
yeah,
On
on
that
some
never mind.
disrespectful on live TV shit. Like, oh, oh, that's
Pooh,
that's That's what you gonna do. You gonna get on live TV and show your ass is what you gonna do. Oh, okay. But I mean, I can agree with that to a degree. I also feel like some art is actually bullshit, and people call it art. Art's tricky because it's subjective.
Art isn't subjective because the artist is intentional. You understand what I'm saying? The artist don't make something and be like, well, what you think about it? You know what I mean? Like it's intentional. It becomes subjective is what I guess you say is the whitewash version of
Yeah.
art. You know what I mean? Like if you have you ever heard the song Purple by Nas?
Purple by Nas.
Yeah, it's a song
Uh,
called Purple by Nas. How about Tupac
yeah.
Hail Mary? Okay. One of the greatest artistic lyrics to me, in which was, I guess you can say, what's the term I'm looking for? Embodied not only solidarity, embodied empathy, understanding, community, togetherness, and also it propelled Tupac into an omnipresent light, right? On Hail Mary, Tupac has a bar where he says, when they turn out the lights, I'll be there in the
Yeah.
dark. Now, it doesn't sound like much, but artistically, it just I mean, think about that. You know what I mean? And you can interpret it that when that they, if they kill you, I'm gonna be with you. You know what I'm saying? When you locked up and they turn out the lights, I'm gonna be with you. You understand what I'm saying? There's intention
Yeah.
behind that. You know what I mean? And it's just not something cool to say, but that's like one of my favorite pop bars. You know what I mean? You go back to the the Mona Lisa. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's like, oh well, her mouth doesn't move. It looks like her eyes are following you. But that painting was made. I forgot. Was it Michelangelo that created
Da
Mona
Vinci.
Lisa? Yeah. Oh, it was
Yeah.
Da Vinci, right?
Da Vinci.
Leonardo da
Yeah,
Vinci. Okay.
the
So
blue
Da
Ninja
Vinci,
Turtle.
when he created, well, I was thinking Michelangelo's David is
Oh,
the
that yeah.
statue. I guess
Now we
that's from the
proceed.
paint.
Cause yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we got
Ninja Turtle. Fuck.
He said,
But yeah,
who's too short? Was it who painted it? Shit.
no, Todd Shaw. It was the great artist Todd Shaw. You know what I mean? The great artist Todd Shaw once they introduced us to a biblical term, in which became prevalent amongst the land, and it spread like wildfire flower to where anybody else can say the term, but if you say the term in a particular manner, you would be embodying and invoking the spirit of Todd Shaw. Do you understand me?
What's the term?
Bitch!
How we get here?
Oh, well, with that being said, though, it was something I saw in the nigga news this week, man, in which was perplexing, right? It was a conversation. Trick Daddy, or should I say, in my report, it was Trick Daddy Dollars has a show called "Bitch I Have My Pots."
So can we stop for a second and ask questions? For one,
Yeah,
what's Trick Daddy's real name? You know? Fucking
it's some nigga
Chauncey
shit,
Johnson.
man.
I
Like
think I noticed it. Yeah,
Liddell
I think it's like
shit.
he got one of them old gospel. Yeah, like I said, Mervale, Hotdale, Percy,
Yeah,
Persipolis. But so, what station could one find? What you said? Bitch, do I have my pots? Oh, bitch, where's my pots?
yeah. It's on YouTube and on Facebook, and it's
So
called "Bitch I
at
Got My
first I
Pots."
knew you joking, but when you said it's on YouTube and Facebook, I'm almost certain it's shit. So
It's a cooking show.
I'm I be trying with Trick, man. I was trying to get in the benefit. So okay, so on his show, bitch, but
Trick the cook. Like real talk. Like if you're a Southern gentleman, Trick the
I want
cook.
to check out his restaurant. I mean, I guess that's I'll take your word for it, but the jury's out on my end because I haven't tried this shit. Every nigga swear they can cook. I thought I could cook a mean brisket till I seen a mean brisket. You know, I mean, I guess this is me just being the
Contrarian.
yeah. But
I'd
but
agree.
I would say I'll say this though. I'll say this. I would branch that he's been talked about with his cooking enough for me to honestly say that if this was Vegas, I put my money on he can cook. 'Cause I've heard his
Yeah.
name synonymous with cooking enough to know that he can probably do his thing.
Well, it started off where he would just do like a Facebook Live and be in there making like
Yeah,
oxtails and gravy,
nigga shit.
frying
Yeah,
pork chops, fish. Right, southern food, southern classics, I
yeah.
should say. Greens and cabbage. There it is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's pretty much the
Yeah.
gist of it. You know what I mean? Excuse me for one moment. I gotta blow my nose. That better. Okay, my apologies. But yeah, so I did that.
Right. Hey man, it's a fart. Like it's a fart from your nose. Like we know it's natural, but it's still a shock when it happens. It's cool.
Correct. So anyway, back to Trick. But he do a show and he has a weekly guest on the show and so forth,
Yeah.
right? So this week he had Lisa Ray on the show. Lisa Ray, she was diamond in the Players Club back in the
Uh,
Gap. Yeah, and married some island scammer or something like that.
shut up. Did she do? No, she was. I was gonna say, did she marry Dwayne Martin? That was Tisha Campbell, right?
Correct. She was married to Dwayne Martin on the show that they had. I think it was All of
That's
Us, if I'm
what it
not mistaken.
was. So I wasn't going crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll work.
So,
Mm.
anywho, her and Trick, they go back and forth. They having a banter, and she was like, for a man to be with her, he has to pay all her
Oh
bills.
my god. If you want to be with me,
And
you gotta have a JLD. Ain't that what Eddie said? Okay, I'm sorry.
correct, but she said a man has to pay all her bills, and he was like, "Well, what you bring to the table? I'm gonna be Lisa. I'm gonna be Brandy. I'm gonna be just basically sex in a nutshell, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Under the auspices that all men require is just sex, and that's all she need to bring to the
Mm-hmm.
table. And a man should pay all of her bills. And Trick was basically like, no, that ain't the way it goes.
as he should.
He said a man should pay a. He said he would have no problem with a man paying the majority of the bills, but all of the bills
Yeah.
negative. And that brought it to me. I was like, well, let me bring that discourse to light because we see that it's starting to become. I'm in single spaces, and I know you're
Mm-hmm.
married, but it's becoming pretty much the hot topic in all of the single spaces. Should a man pay all of a woman's bill? So I present the question to you: should a man pay all of a woman's bills? If yes, why? If no, why?
Um, I think it depends. At, I'm old school and I'm liberal or progressive or how you want to put it now. Because there's a part of me that's like, if you're my wife, if I'm in a position where I can pay all the bills and we live comfortably, I'm not gonna have to spend money. But it's not for my ego. It's not so I can stand up and claim myself as the man of the household. It's just because I got it. Um, if I don't have it, we both work towards it. We both achieving this goal. I don't feel like less of a man for doing that or whatever, whatever. But the caveat to that, the outlying factor to that is this is my wife we're talking about. If in the I was taken aback when you said this is something that's going on like in the singles arena, which I'm far removed from.
Correct.
If a chick dating, I'll entertain that conversation. Like if me and chick were dating, and she was like, "But just a heads up, I'm one of those women that feel like the husband should pay all the bills." And I'll be like, "Okay, well, first off, just know I'm not paying any of your bills until we get married. So how do you know I'm going to fulfill that deal? But hey, let's say we do get married and I pay all the bills. What am I buying? Because that's what it sounds like I'm doing. This
Mm.
you specifically said you don't want a man to protect or provide. You led your main thing is men should pay all the bills. What am I buying? But let's say she spoke out of context or out of turn. What she really meant was she wants a man that's going to protect and provide, do all the manly shit. It's just financially, she feels like the man is supposed to pay the bills. My question is why? I would like to know her response. I'd like to know Lisa's response because Lisa sounds like she comes from she's adopted an older way of doing it, and not necessarily the older way is correct or incorrect. I think it's subjective on the person. What if there was a cookie cutter way to be successful in a relationship, there'd be far more successful relationships than there are. The divorce courts would be through the fucking floor. Niggas wouldn't be getting divorced like a motherfucker. But the fact of the matter is, there's no cookie cutter way. What may work for you won't work for me, or may not work for me, and vice versa. That's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? So, to answer your question simply, I think it's subjective if the man should pay out the bills. It depends on the situation. If your situation warrants that, so be it. I've seen times where a dude be paying all the bills and she's fine, she's happy, and be respectful. Keep in mind them niggas live in the hood. So yeah, she ain't paying out a bill. And her always smell like pee-pee. So you take what you
Mm.
get. I've seen situations where motherfuckers live in that mansion and he pay all the bills. And she with it. She's fucking with it like she enjoys it. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say, hey, if you in a situation pay all the bills. Because there's an X factor that we're leaving out, which is the situation itself. If me paying all the bills mean we have to live in a substandard lifestyle, fuck that. There's creature conference that I work for, that I for. I don't just want internet. I want terabyte worth of fucking bandwidth, right? That shit costs $80 to $100 a month. Just for internet. Just to be able to stream some shit. Just to be able to watch some shit without glitching and dropping out and none of that bullshit. Right? So if that means that if I'm gonna do that with the internet, then my wife has to pay a light bill instead of being able to not pay the light bill, so fucking be it. If it means that I could pay the whole rent if we stay in a 2-bedroom apartment, but if we split the rent, we have a 4-bedroom house. Go get that fucking house. Go get it. But that's not indicative of me or my kingship or my manhood, because at the end of the day, before we even entered in any type of contract where we shared bills, she respected me. Otherwise, we wouldn't have got to the point where we're at now. I think. Long-winded. Sorry.
No, I mean it wasn't long winded. I just hope she asked me a question.
So,
Shit, for
so
real.
what do you think about it? Where do you stand on that shit? Like, what do you stand on? I mean, because that's my viewpoint as not only a married man, but a working class. Always like I've never made over $60,000 a year as so I'm a middle wage working class married man. You being a upper wage single upper class upper wage single man. Where do you stand on that shit?
I think that it's an irrational argument, to be honest with you. I'm 40 years old, right? And at 40 years old, I think the concept of having expectations on a man to be a traditionalist with a non-traditional woman is a fallacy.
Mm-hmm.
Like typically we hear it you hear it, the comparison of what brings it up is obviously with the influx of foreigners, they say the male pays all of the bills, but in exchange for paying all of the bills, they get a virgin. Their father pays for the wedding, and you have traditional
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So in a non-traditional settings, if you come in and you have children, you have an extensive sexual history,
That's
so
good there.
clearly you're not a traditional woman, right?
He said extensive sexual history.
Being real about it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So with you not being a traditional woman, how is there an expectation for me to be a traditional man? Then secondly, the second part which brings me to where it's an irrational argument is when I do engage in conversation in my single life about situations like this. My first question is who have you seen this from?
Mm.
You weren't raised with your father, so how did your father pay all your bills?
So is this a presumptive conversation, or do you just automatically come
No,
to me and be
it's
like, I know none of these women in this club had their dad in their life.
no, wait, no, no, no. I don't got the predator scan on me and shit like that. A single parent,
That's what I
raised,
said. Daddy issues.
very low self esteem.
Come here.
I'm a back to me. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
okay. Well,
no.
just
But
shit. I don't know your life. I don't know your skills.
but
I don't know what you can do. I just know you magical. You know what I'm saying?
a motherfucking unicorn. Yeah. But yeah, but I mean, it usually comes up in dating, and single spaces. You know what I mean? Single groups, single meet and greets and stuff like that. It's a pretty common argument that's happening right
Yeah.
now, right? And so when it comes up, it's like, how do you have an expectation for something that you've never had? I don't know if well, me, I present myself as a gentleman with nigga tendencies. You know what I'm saying? I cuss, I spit, and shit like that.
With
You
the
know what
hoes
I'm
and
saying?
shit.
Oh yeah, I'm all that. I'm all that. You know what I mean?
I'm like, oh,
So
no, shit is hot,
yeah, but in my life, what I've encountered is that women who be like, well, I want a gentleman, I want this, I want that. And if you're that to them, they tend to don't know how to act around it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's either a phase or it becomes boring because they don't know how to
That's
deal.
what they thought they wanted, but when they got it, that's not what they want. They want.
They want it because it's different from what they're
Mm-hmm.
dealing with. So I mean, if you used to a nigga who don't take you nowhere, of course you're gonna tell a new nigga, I just want to go. You'll never take me out to eat. Well, the nigga you fucking, what he do? Well, yeah, he ain't shit. He's toxic. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes it becomes a
Yeah.
farce. It's a straw man argument at that point. You want a man to pay all of your bills, but your daddy didn't do it, your grandfather didn't do it.
Yeah. Should be looking in your drawer. My bad. My bad. A bit. Go ahead.
So you've never had that done before, and none of your prior relationships, the man didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So now, what is telling you that this is an expectation as of now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, can you blame them? I mean, think about you ever you ever have a desire of winning the lottery,
Hmm.
and the money that you would get from a lottery you've never seen before in your life, but you know you have the desire for it. So does it make that a desire unwarranted? Now, once again, I'm just arguing, but I get 100% what you're saying.
I think that's a bad
Right, yeah,
analogy.
but
Yeah, because the lottery don't require work.
shit. You ever tried to get on the numbers?
Come on now, bro. Reality speaking.
That's all right.
There's nothing you can if it was something that can be done to say you do this, you'll
Okay,
get this.
yeah. If you buy, if you
It's
buy enough
impo-
tickets, you can win
yeah,
it.
yeah, but you can if you have a standard in your life, you can create that standard to where either people meet the bar or
Okay.
they don't.
Mm.
But it becomes incongruent if nobody behind you has met that standard of the bar, and now you have that expectation as the standard in the bar.
So it's expectation without any uh what work put in towards that achievement expectation.
Correct. You want somebody to be something that you're not.
Yep. Yep. You say you either are or you not.
Yeah, well, you want the expectation of something
Mm-hmm.
that you're not. If you,
How far removed? How far removed from? How far removed is that from ambition? Does it make sense? Like,
it's not ambition. It's not ambitious and all. It's audacious. The audacity is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Ambition would be like, I have a goal and this is what I want for my life. So you start to change your life in order to align with what you want.
audacity
But
is that ambition without what the follow through, without the
all audacity is the presumption of expectation.
okay.
You presume that, you know what I mean, that this is how it's
Yeah.
supposed to be. And reality is nothing like that. You know what I mean? You can't you can't how dare you ask for a traditional man if you're not a traditional woman?
That's a good point. Which segues to a question I have. Is Lisa Ray currently married?
No.
Would you say? Do you think, based off of what you know all about her, she's a traditional woman?
No, she's not. If she was traditional, she would be married. She wouldn't have children out of wedlock.
Mm,
As Trick actually, he's like, did your daddy pay for the wedding? She was like, her father passed. So, I mean, it's something
yeah,
to it. But as a traditional woman, did your father pay for the
yeah.
wedding? But you want me to do that and pay all your bills, right?
I got I got a
You
question
know,
for you. So
correct.
if these were the olden times where like you did like I guess in the analogy you set up earlier, it was like if you wanted to court a woman, you bring something to the table, or so would you like if I seen a woman, would I bring the cow to the woman's father, or would the I would bring the cow to the woman's father, right? In this olden days.
It depends on your location. They didn't bring cows in the African
What
American
would we bring in the
community.
African American community?
African American community, if we go back to the 1960s and 70s, the pre-crack era, we led America in marriages,
Okay.
right? We were the moral fabric of America, right? Back then, the credentials for marriage and what women would look for: does he have a job?
Okay. Because
Does he have the ability to
because
keep a
presumably
job?
he'd be paying all the bills. He can't pay the bills without the job. Is that where we're going with this? Okay.
Correct. In exchange for her to raise the
Raise the
children and so
children,
forth.
raise said children.
Uh,
Okay.
correct. But they also were doing this like right after high school. You know what I'm saying? A woman didn't leave her parents' house until she was married. Dating back when you couldn't date a woman unless you asked her father, and you would have to have a home by a certain time. Literally, you would have to negotiate. Yeah,
I mean, we do it.
yeah, man,
We do it as a formality.
it wasn't all this willy nilly fucking going on, man. For real, like yeah, you had to
Yeah.
court a woman. You had to have a skill. You know what I mean? And some what started to happen is with the influx of the feminist movement. Black women adopted the ideology of white women that they practiced in their youth, but it wasn't an ongoing practice. It became an ongoing practice that women should have this, that, and the third, to basically our community became to where we don't need a man. So when you think about traditionalists, the women, they typically were virgins, you know what I mean? If a woman lost her virginity to you, more than likely that would be the woman that you married. By and large.
Yeah. Okay.
You look lost,
No,
man.
no, 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 no. Because there's a ton of thoughts flowing through my mind now. Like, and I get where we're at. I get we're in this time period now where what I'm saying that we're discussing where a dude who has a job finds a woman, courts that woman, marries that woman, takes that woman's virginity, and one of three things would happen based off of what I've seen on what's that show? Not Ghost Files. What's the Cold Case Files? No, 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 no. The one where like it's a white woman and she's always investigating like cold cases. She speaks to ghosts and shit. Anywho, all right. So it's a show where this white woman speaking. Anyway, right? So one of three things happens. Either y'all get married, he pays all the bills, y'all live happy and have like 28 kids who have like 48 grandkids, and then you see these families, whatever. Two, he's abusive and he does all that other stuff while going across a woman's head every other Wednesday. Or three, he's a compulsive cheater, which he does all that stuff and he has 28 kids with her and another 14 kids on his own. And
That wasn't the
see,
norm.
okay, so my perspective, my idea of this is it's exaggerated. It's not it's unreasonable. What you're saying? Okay,
Correct.
okay,
That would be more
yeah,
anecdotal and to be, the standard that men would have outside families and so forth. Some men did. It'll be, to be honest with you, some men did. Just like saying that every man who did that would beat his wife. That would be more anecdotal. Maybe one person here, two people there.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't common.
So do we from here? Do we go back and like strip women of their independency? Do we what, what direction? If you could cast us in any direction, right? Us as African Americans,
Mm-hmm.
as far as this goes, that sustainability of the African American household, what would you do? Like, how would you go about doing it? As far as like, I guess like marriage, right? Because I mean, we also know that the war on drugs played a huge part. The crack epidemic itself, and heroin before that, and the feminist movement before that. But I'm also in Jim Crow laws played a part.
No, this was after Jim Crow.
Okay.
Again, this was the 1970s. Black people led American society and marriages.
Uh,
What happened was it wasn't just a crack epidemic; it was a conjunction of things, right?
Yeah.
It was the introduction of social welfare and social welfare programs.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it was on the heels of the feminist movement to where they said you don't need a man, but white that was basically telling black women that. So we started to have children out of wedlock. You had incarceration movement, and you literally created the single parent epidemic, to where now African Americans lead the single parent epidemics at 70 upwards of 76%.
Yeah.
So you're talking about literally three out of every four black children in America are raised in single parent households.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Morally, it's a moral dilemma more so than a financial dilemma or anything like that. When non-Americans come from overseas and so forth like that, and I've seen it with my own eyes, you can have two foreigners working at Taco Bell,
Yeah.
right? We, American society, we would look down on that, right? But what they would do is the wife would work and the husband would
Uh
work.
huh.
And I seen this personally while working at Taco Bell. This when I was like 16, 17 years old. I worked at Taco Bell, and it was a guy named Candido and his wife named
I'm sorry, childish.
and
Go ahead.
childish as fuck.
Shut up. Go ahead.
Yeah, and his wife named
Uh huh.
Lola, and they worked at Taco Bell.
Okay.
They saved up enough money together. They bought a
Yeah.
van, raised their children, bought a house, and this was like within a year and a half, 2 year
Yeah.
span. To where we look at it as to they make $11 an hour a piece. They made $22 an hour together, and this was the '90s.
I see what you're
You
saying.
understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were able to.
But.
They lived off of his income,
Mm-hmm.
and her income was for things like the cars and taking care of the kids until they developed the financial skills to attract larger wages. He was in school for like plumbing or HVAC or some shit
Mm-hmm.
like that. And while they were in school, that's what was going on. They were saving, and then, after with the HVAC thing, he was able to come up to where now they make a lot of
Yeah.
paper. You know what I'm saying? Now he has his own business.
And they were Hispanic.
Correct. They were like Honduran, I
Okay.
believe.
Do you think like
Yeah.
as blacks, our ambition is too short sighted? Like we uh we rely on instantaneous gratification. We want this money right now because that story you just laid
Um,
out. It's a story where they came up in the end, but it seemed like a lot of grinding before they got to that point. Granted, I
how was Brandon? They worked at Taco
they
Bell.
worked at Taco Bell in the '90s, making $11 an hour, which is $22 a piece. Where was this Taco Bell located at? Like in Florida?
Yeah, that's in
Okay,
Tampa, Florida.
so was the cost of living allowing them to buy a house or an apartment?
They had an apartment. Started off in an
Was
apartment.
it
I believe it was 600 for a two bedroom at the time. 500, 600 for a
and it
two
was just
bedroom.
them, or did they have kids at this point?
Yeah, children had
Okay,
two kids.
so four people in a 2 bedroom house, which is doable, right? How old were the kids? They were young, bambinos.
They had the kids. They gave the kids the master bedroom. So the large closet they turned into a bedroom for the girl.
Huh. Now, as
Yeah.
and it's admirable. I'm not trying to disrespect them in any by any means, but
No.
you don't,
I wouldn't
you
allow
think
that.
that you don't think that's indicative of an action to survive struggle, where you turn the closet into a
No, I
bedroom?
think it's the definition of a work, man, of a
Mm-hmm.
helpmate, dog. Turn the closet into a bedroom, understands that it's just a
Yeah.
temporary thing. If God forbid, if you lost your job or if you broke a leg and couldn't work for 6 months, and you guys had to downgrade, I'm pretty sure you can figure out how to
We
make the
probably end up
situation
turning
work.
closets in the bedroom. Hot damn.
I mean, what I mean, that's, to where both children were able to maintain a modicum of
Yeah,
privacy and
yeah,
live their life. You know, and again, if as a man, if you lead with a woman with a plan and say, okay, baby, we
yeah,
fucked up right now, but I'm going to become a better man and I'm going to make
yeah.
this better. In 2 years, we'll be able to get our children, our daughter out of the closet, and our son from sharing a room with his sister, and they'll have their own room.
So,
Uh,
no, I'm finna
Go ahead.
say. So, with that being said, you just laid out a situation where it wasn't a man paying all the bills necessarily, but a collaborative effort to where they both achieved this goal. So,
Correct.
not to say that that same blueprint would work for everybody, but I think it's unjust to say that the only way you can achieve that standard of success is if the man pays all the bills. I think that's unfair to a whole class of people that achieved that level of success but didn't do it that way.
I agree.
That's a good
I agree.
summation.
That's why I say, the
I said that's a good
huh?
summation. That's a good lesson you taught because that's basically what it was. You just taught a lesson.
Yeah, but now we correlate that to our
Mm-hmm.
community, right? In our community, if you with the expectation, if you take a 25-year-old woman and a 25-year-old man, and the expectation is for, and he obviously they're in love and he wants to marry the girl, but he may be working a substandard job, as I'm pretty sure most of us did in our 20s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's not, he more than likely he's not in his career path at
Mm-hmm.
this point. You know what I mean? So, but she has this expectation that he should pay all of the bills in order for them to
Mm-hmm.
progress. So that would be impossible for that to work,
Right.
right? Unless she's willing to sacrifice something, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if she's uncompromising to that aspect, there's no possible way for that to work,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's why I say the expectation is a farce. Now, secondly, we have to weigh in is where did this expectation come from?
Now. Mm, okay. Because in the video you're referring to, she she referred that back to Bible like a biblical source, right?
No, she
I
couldn't
thought she.
refer to it as a biblical
I
verse
might have misheard.
because she said in a biblical sense, like in her, without knowing the Bible, that's her concept of the Bible. Is a man paying all of the bills,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
See, somehow this collective consciousness that we're expected to have as Black people, the concept of provision means only financially. The concept of protection means only a gun. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, with that being said, if people are under these concepts and pretexts and pretenses, you're doing too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
You hit pause on the John?
Right now, like right now.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. My fault.
No,
I'm
no. You continue what you were saying.
okay. Yeah. So basically, the concept and pretense of a man paying all the bill comes from where? Where does it come
Fuck,
from?
I don't know, bro. I thought that shit came from the 1960s when niggas was cheating on their wives and beating their wives and shit. I don't know. That's
Okay.
what. That,
But what type? Okay. But okay. Let's go by based on what
okay.
you know. What did the man get in exchange for paying all the bills?
Solids. Uh, because most of the time, women in them situations they didn't cheat, and if you went upside their head, they didn't call the police on you. because they didn't have they didn't have a lot of options as far as escape. You'd have them outlier cases where a woman was like, I'm gonna take this abuse, but as soon as I save up enough money, I'm going to California. You know, that Marilyn Monroe type shit, right? But for the most part, Mary Sue was shucking and jiving all the way up to the 80s until crack came along and fucked the whole shit up. But for the most part, they was there because they went from, like you said, they went from their parents' house to your house. They've never even had the idea of living on their own. So they might not know how to do it in the first place if they did. I know for a fact, now us talking about it, I know for a fact that was the case. Which there's a relative that I have that I know. That's how it went down. And I just realized that just now talking to you about it. Right? So that's what I think was going on in the 1960s. You was either getting you was getting married, and you was either living in one of those happy ass relationships. You was the one was getting beat on, or she was getting cheated on, or both.
Yeah.
Or there's a few outlier cases where she was in a relationship and she didn't want to be in, and she was just trying to save her little grocery money until she could skim off the top and shit.
Oh,
At that cut, we're gonna put him in a second.
Oh. Yeah, I did. And also a man would bring his check home and give it to the woman.
And you had me all the way up until right here. So you mean to tell?
Oh shit!
So in this situation, where the man is clearly the patriarch, the higher, he would bring his check home to the woman. She would go cash the check and pay the bills. Is that what we're saying?
He would cash check. I use my uncle as an example, right? And from what my cousin told me about my uncle, right? He would cash his check every Friday, take a little money for him to go gamble with, and get the rest to his wife to pay the bills.
You're absolutely right. There was some motherfuckers that was like, I pay all the bills, I give you the money, you make sure the bills is there. And yeah, you do your thing.
Yeah, and that's that was the impetus of basically what was going on, right? Like, and she'll obviously, he'll give her more than enough money to pay the bills, and she'll cuff the rest. And there was nothing wrong with that. That was perfectly normal. That's her money. You know what I mean? That's the price of doing business, right? But what type of woman do you get in exchange for that?
Shit, in the 1960s, any type of woman. Because that was the bar. But...
Well, it wouldn't be any type of woman. You would probably get a woman that was all about food, right? She would say her dad would have fried chicken at 3 a.m, and her mom would go fried chicken.
Shut the fuck up.
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm serious. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back. Let people go get up in this thing. Yeah, we'll be back with a guest caller too, man. All right, cool. So what do you say? 3 minutes?
That'll work. We'll go and entice the crowd with the sweet sounds of Peebo Drip and the salty teardrops. Circa 1989. Oh. Yeah, I'm not finna let you make up a name for these boys.
Okay. What the fuck?
Alright, what?
Let me know when we'll break.
This is
Alright, we completely out now. Nigga, what do you think I got going on? Every time I turn around, nigga died sending me an invite. Just start putting my shit on mute. Oh, alright, listen, I'll tell you what, after this, look, this is what I'm gonna do. From now on, when we on, I'm gonna put my phone on silent, I'm gonna put it away, so I won't even know what's going on. Yeah, that's what I'm on. Yeah, that's what I was trying to like. I was trying to put it like I have it, and I try to put it up here. Okay. Okay. I guess. All right. So you gotta remember, I'm drinking, and I got afraid that like you would see me doing this shit. But if I.
I decide, not you. Now, you don't love me anymore, well, that breaks my heart, but it's still fucking bad, because you don't gotta love me. But you will respect me.
This is INMF.
I decide, not you. Now, you don't love me anymore, well, that breaks my heart, but it's still fucking bad, because you don't gotta love me. But you will respect me.
This is INMF.
I decide, not you. Now, you don't love me anymore, well, that breaks my heart, but it's still fucking bad, because you don't gotta love me. But you will respect me.
This is INMF.
decide, not you. Now, you don't love me anymore, that breaks my heart, but it's too fucking bad, because you don't gotta love me. But you will respect me.
This is INMF.
And we back live. And let me get his video under control, because he's actually all over your screen. Bam. 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 And I lock that. Alright,
Okay, in the future, keep that shit to your damn self. On the one, Frank. Next time on the one, Frank.
Alright,
Yeah, man, that was a great intro, man. Great. I love them songs of Peebo and the Cool Cold
I'm
Cuts,
not
man.
finna
Like
keep
them
letting you
niggas
do
really put their thing down. I'm just saying, man, Peebo Strip and the Tasty Tears is delicious, man. Delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
So we have a guest here. We have Don Peasy with his real name on here for some reason. We have Don Peasy in the building.
Say so.
But I only see that. I'm just bullshit. I only see it when I'm
Go.
How
on
you
the
brothers
screen.
doing this evening,
Oh,
man?
But
How y'all
okay.
brothers doing? Salutation.
We're
What's up?
good,
up,
man. I'm just
Peasy,
making sure that I got some audio from you and shit.
Nah,
Because
y'all show was going phenomenal. I thought I would chime in because that was, I don't know if y'all switching over to the next subject, but it was very interesting.
no, we want to bring. You can rock with us, man. Rock with us. This our number one contributor to the show, Don Peasy. So tell us, man, what do you think about the Lisa and Trick Daddy topic as far as men paying all the bills and you know, women. Well, let me rephrase that. Women want non-traditional women
Well,
want a
that's not gonna
traditional
work.
man.
That's just not gonna work. I mean, that's just not gonna work. I mean, as far as non-traditional wanting traditional, that's a yin and a, well, a negative and a positive. I mean, like a magnet, it ain't gonna stick,
Yeah,
brother.
but nigga,
And,
Paul Abdul say opposites attract though.
well,
they do.
I
They do. They do.
what I found is,
Uh,
as far as my relationships, you need to find somebody that's into what you into.
Mm.
You're not gonna have a person that's an atheist and one person that's a Christian. That down the line, those are pillars that just ain't gonna work. One person that like to spend all the money, and another person like to say, it got to be a happy medium in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, yeah,
a
not a
compromise.
well, hell, it's like pillars, like finance and children. Like it's one person who wants children and another person that doesn't. It's not gonna work. But back to your original question, a non-traditional woman want a traditional man. That just ain't gonna happen, brother.
Well, do you think traditional women still exist in this day and age?
Yes.
Traditional women in the sense of they might not necessarily be virgins still, but they have those old world values.
Yeah, I do think they do.
Give you an
That's a bad
example.
example, real. And I
Okay.
say that's a bad example because you can't have traditional values without actually without living out those values because they wouldn't be values anymore.
Well, to find a virgin this day and age, I mean, that's
Not, but that's why I say using a virgin
Okay.
as an example is kind of
no,
the older you get, the
Yeah.
less
correct.
likely
Right,
that
Okay.
right.
happens.
That's why. Yeah.
No matter how traditional she may be, she could have made a mistake or two or done
Right.
some things in life, right? So we do have to account for that
So
in all
it's really just
honesty.
boiling down to should a man pay the bills? Well, you're saying a non-traditional woman. When you say non-traditional woman, what do you mean? Because again, like you just said, though, it could be non-traditional in the sense that she's not a virgin. You see,
Well, what in her life correlates and makes her traditional to where she can expect
if
tradition?
it's just boiling down to paying the bills, I think the man should definitely pay the bills. That's the question. You know what I'm saying?
But, but what do you get in
Oh
return?
man, you get companionship, you get loyalty, you get a woman that's yours, and that's what you handling. You know what I'm saying? Like if a woman understands the hierarchy of the way that it works, And I'm not saying, and when I say a man pay all the bills, I really was. I'm with Trick. Like you need to pay the light bill at least, but I'm always cover the mortgage and the bulk of the bills. Now,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna
Majority of
cover
the
the
bills,
bulk of
yeah.
the bills. She like my wife doesn't pay the mortgage. She doesn't
Yeah.
pay the major stuff, but her car payment absolutely she pays that. I
Wait,
mean,
nigga. Did you say the maid?
no, no,
Oh,
no, not the maid. I ain't got it like that, my brother. But no,
like y'all.
I'm just saying that a woman. I'm just saying a man should pay the bulk of the bills. But I see men busting down rent and busting down these things, and then they want a woman to do certain things for them, like traditionally cook, clean, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then she got to work too. So
I think there's a
I think
trade
it's
off
more
though,
just
bro.
go ahead.
Like
No,
the
yeah.
trade
Go
the
ahead,
trade
Ron.
off
My
might be
fault. My
far
fault.
and
My fault.
few. Like I would if we bust down the bills right down the middle. I'm still gonna
Hmm.
expect for you to do the wife shit like clean the house, clean the inside of the house, and cook the food or whatever. Me personally, I'm gonna take out the trash, and if there's a bump in the night, I'm gonna go check on that bump. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
there's still like these pseudo traditional elements that are still gonna be in play. Though you look perplexed. What you got for me, bro? Like,
Uh, and this is it's a
oh
character
Lord.
flaw of
Okay.
mine
Okay.
that context is
Okay.
very important to me, right? Like you
Yeah.
said, taking out the trash, right? And I say that's traditional because I don't just take out the trash in a woman I'm dating's house. I would go to my
Okay.
mother's house and I take out the trash.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I would go to
You would
my
take out the
cousin's
trash
house and
before you
take out
let
the
a
trash.
woman take it out. Okay.
Correct.
Right.
Regardless
And
of
that
the
same rule will be
scenario. You understand?
applied to your household.
Correct. Correct. It's not me doing it because I'm with this woman. I'm doing this because that's what I
Okay.
believe.
Well, in the same context, if you
You
believe you
understand
should
what
pay the
I'm saying?
bulk of the bills too, you don't believe that. Okay, you do believe
Yeah.
that. Okay.
No, I do. I don't believe in paying all the bills. I believe that a man should take on a bulk of the financial
Okay.
burden and
Yeah.
responsibility. You know what I'm saying? But sit back to say that you're going to work and keep your whole check while I go and bust my ass to get this paper. No, bitch. No,
Maybe I'm
no.
crazy because I don't even know when my wife get paid, how much she get paid, or what she do with her money.
No,
Yeah, it's not.
that's normal. As long as she take care of
I
that,
don't know.
take care of, and you like if you and the mortgage, as long as the lights ain't off
If
when you come
if
home,
you
what the
would have
fuck you
told
got to
that to a
complain about?
21 or 22-year-old me, I would have said, yeah, you crazy. But these days, I mean, even that you mentioned it, no, I'm not sure exactly when my wife gets paid. If a gun was to my head and I had to guess, I could guess a date.
Yeah,
But as far as
around
her
about a
sal
time.
right. But as far
No, you'll probably say this Friday or
Yeah,
next Friday.
yeah.
It's probably how you rationalize the shit
right.
out, right? You know what I'm saying? When she come home with
and
dinner on
and
Friday,
she'd
you
be
know
like,
she get
"Hey,
that check.
I'm behind. What you want? Oh, Okay,
Yeah,
you got paid.
Oh, you got paid. Okay.
it's
Yeah.
lasagna tonight, pimp. It's
Right.
lasagna tonight, pimp. I got you. I got you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and none of my relationships did I care when a woman got paid. But it's the lack of help or the lack of being what
Yeah,
you expect from somebody, right? Like you can't expect from people what you're not willing to give. And it's not just in man woman relationships, right? Like if I know that I couldn't borrow $50 from you, you think you can borrow $50 from
ooh.
me?
But if that's the exchange, is the relationship worth it at that point? All right,
Yeah,
but
that's a valid point, Ram. Because
before I ask that question, I
But that
go ahead.
therein lies the problem.
I was just gonna say
No, you
I
got
know
it. I'm
somebody
open.
right now that's like she got it's a boyfriend girlfriend relationship, but the thing is like the the dude fell on a hard time and needed something, and the young lady was like, I don't feel comfortable helping you like that because my mama didn't do it, her mama didn't do it, yada yada yada. So it's like, well, if that's how you feel, if that's what you're bringing to the table, why would I even invest in this? Why would I even try to do this? Not to say that I would ever need your help. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Not to say that I ever need your help, but it's a difference in never needing your help and needing your help and being denied your help. You know what I'm saying?
right,
It
right. So
puts
you're
some,
saying when you come to a person, if they got it, to look out for you
yeah,
because you will look out for them.
She's not a help. She's
yeah.
not a helpmate. Basically, what you're saying. Basically, he got to do everything. The moment
Shit's
he falls
fucked.
short,
It's nobody.
oh,
He is the Deion Sanders. He is the
oh,
last line of defense. Motherfucker get past him, touchdown. That's what it is. He's the deep safety.
it's over. Basically, the relationship
I guess
over.
that's what it is then.
Yeah, and but that's why you have to weigh into account the problem with black relationships now is sex comes before
You
love.
said sex comes before
You know what I'm
lust.
saying?
Well, shit.
Love,
In what
love,
relationship where it don't?
love, huh?
In what relationship where motherfuckers is falling in love before they have sex?
No, the premise behind that is the requirements for sex with a woman is lower than the requirements
As
for a
they should.
relationship with a woman. No, that's
What?
asshole backwards, Jack. Yes, yes,
So
and
you
that's the
saying we
problem
should
with our
work harder
community.
to be in a relationship than we should for consensual sex?
No, we shouldn't work. This is for women only. If a woman, in order for her to give her body to a man, all you have to do is
Mm.
look good or say the right thing,
Okay,
by and
yeah.
large, right? Okay, so basically that's
Any woman?
anybody, right? That's any man. Any man can say and look and say the right
Mm.
thing, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't need you to guess. I want you to know 'cause I'm about to teach
All
you.
right, yeah.
So I want
Okay,
honest
so
feedback
yeah,
and honest
yeah,
opinions. Okay. Okay. So that's the only requirement to get her to have sex
yeah. That
with you,
initial
right?
attraction,
Okay. And you can hit that in
if
three
that.
days flat, right?
If that, yeah. I think
Now for a relationship with a woman, you have to pay all the bills, you have to be able to provide dates,
For a
you
relationship
have to
or for a
do
marriage? I'll
there's a
say for a
whole
relationship,
laundry
there are steps. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
relationship relationship there's a whole laundry things of
Yeah,
expectations for a relationship as to where sex is just you
show up
just
with
show up.
charisma and attraction. But yeah,
yeah, I think that I think the problem with relationships now, and it's just an opposite of way of looking at it though, as far as not just you, I just think in general that as far as we always worried about what the other person doing and we never work on us. I believe like for women to follow you, you got to give us something to follow. For a man to want somebody who's wholesome, they got to be a wholesome woman. You see, versus automatically saying I'm looking for this type of man. You just be I'm gonna be this type of person, which attracts this. Go ahead.
Hold on, stop. I gotta stop. Stop you. Okay, so you're basically now you're starting to go into a leadership
Well,
conversation, right?
I mean it's on the woman as well too.
Because you when you said in order for a woman to follow you, you have to
That's
give her
correct.
something to follow,
Absolutely, absolutely.
right? So in order to get sex, you don't have to put any type of follow leadership qualities or any exemplars of any forms of leadership, any form of responsibility, any form of being a
Well,
man
if
to that woman.
but no,
You
but
just
no,
have
if
to
it's the
show
type
up.
of woman that that's a wholesome woman that has values and morals, she won't do that.
I'm talking about generally and by and large. What you're saying is right, but we're talking about the general consensus of the status quo, meaning the standard or the common practice
Well,
in today's
again, if you
society.
just want some pussy, you
But
can go get some pussy. That's not. I mean, that's if that's the, and if a
But
woman wants some dick, she can go get some dick. I thought we was looking at as far as as far as paying the bills and all that other good stuff. I,
I'm telling. But in order to get to, you just don't meet a woman and
yeah,
say, "I'm going to pay
like we're
all your
talking
fucking
about,
bills."
like I guess it's like in phases. Like you got the first phase, which is
right.
Correct.
that dating or fucking, whatever we call it, and then it's that extended dating or fucking, and then it's the marriage.
Yeah, because if a woman don't give me pussy when I want it, I definitely ain't gonna marry. I hate to say that,
Yeah,
but that's just
hot
the
damn
truth.
I
caveman.
agree. I,
No, I'm just keeping it 100. No. Like you
no,
gotta keep
I
in mind,
agree.
men need sex just like a lawnmower need gas, just like a light bulb need electricity. It's certain things that men need to keep going. It's no way around it, and sex is one of them.
We go.
Sex is one of them. I mean, that's a need of a man is sex.
Mm-hmm.
And if what the problem is that I find women use sex as a pawn when it should not be a pawn.
They weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
It's
weaponized against
weaponized.
you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, you mad at me so I can't get no pussy now? You know what I'm saying? Then the first thing the nigga gonna say or the male gonna say is, "Bitch, I ain't giving you no money then." So now we back. Like
Huh.
even swap ain't no swindle.
Huh.
What's the point of dealing? But back to my what I was saying, you can't progress to that marriage phase if when sex becomes easier to maintain than a relationship. All right, we can't get into a relationship, but we can keep on
Mm.
fucking.
Hmm. Okay.
So what incentive does it give a man to want to marry you?
Um. Yeah.
Because I mean, based on that example, I'm a firm believer that the number one thing in which men elevate women to from okay, I'm just fucking to all right, let's build is first and foremost is the
Yeah.
access to
And
sex,
and
right?
and the quality of said
I think
sex. Yeah.
men to quality is subjective depending on how you come in at how you
Okay.
address the deck, right? Quality is subjective. I think if you like a woman, if you're into a woman or attracted to the woman, I think the quality of sex is always going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, you can be with a woman that you care about in a quickie in the bathroom is almost the same as a passionate night
Because the
of
care
love
is there.
making. You know what I'm saying? Correct. The attraction is there. You're emotionally and
Mm-hmm.
sexually invested into the woman. You know what I'm saying? But if a woman doesn't have any requirements beyond sex for a man, I think that's where it's like, okay, well,
Well, I've had
she over
relationships
here.
where all it was, and real maybe you could, hey, well, think about doing your past relationships too. That the woman only saw me as dick and money. Like, women
Correct.
do view niggas like that too now. So, and I think that's because they acting like men too.
And
They feel like they us.
that's the definition of a
Hell
non-traditional
no.
woman.
I may have been seen as that, but not by the same women at the same time.
You got to elaborate.
Like one woman will see me as dick, the other one will see me as money. Two different time frames.
Oh well, no, of course,
Yeah.
naturally. You this woman hold, you this woman bank.
So,
What's the life?
yeah. So okay, I'm just trying to rationalize it in my head to make sure. Huh.
Well, I've been in a relationship
Yeah,
where
but
I've seen his dick and money, meaning that when I said shit, she felt she was on my level and she can veto the shit. You see what I'm saying?
You had no
Or
rank, no respect.
yeah, I had no respect, no nothing. But I had dick and I had money. You see, as long as I paid these bills, as long as I gave her that dick, it was great. But as far as it was no respect, as far as man, see, men need respect. That's the way we view love. It's respect. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think respect is overlooked. I think you need more loyalty than respect. I think that I think that it's natural for people not to respect somebody else's decision making. You understand what I'm saying? Like, drink champs ask the question all the time. Which one would you rather have, loyalty or respect? And people tend to say respect. But as I've gotten older, I'm not going to respect everything that you do. I'm not going to like everything that you do. But if you're loyal, you will deal with that shit.
uh,
You understand what I'm saying?
man. No,
No,
I
I mean,
understand where you at, but I mean, as far as respect, like you don't want no woman. Woman can be loyal to you all the time, and she call you a bitch ass nigga, but she a lawyer. She loyal.
well,
But I
now
will tell
that
you
that that's not
that's
necessarily.
disrespect.
Hold on, that's disrespect. That's disrespect. I don't need you to respect me, but you damn sure ain't gonna disrespect. You see what I'm saying? Like respect, you can be like, well, I disagree. I don't think you're making the right decision. I don't respect that decision, but I'm gonna fuck with you because this the decision that you've come to, and I'm gonna rock. I'm not gonna call you no hoe ass bitch, no faggot ass bitch, no nothing like that.
Wait. What women is you out here calling faggot ass bitches? You're a cold motherfucker, boy.
Oh, no, that well, I talk with pimps. A fag is a
Oh,
woman that don't
oh,
that
Lord.
Not
some
the F word.
that's the definition of a
Hold on,
faggot
that's
when you
cancel
refer to a
culture
woman.
word, now, bro. That's cancel culture word.
No, no, I'm not saying in the reference of a man and a man, but they call that fag ass bitch. That's a
Oh,
fag ass
Lord.
bitch.
Say,
That's a
say,
faggot shit for real
so,
of a bitch. That's
uh,
what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't gonna get on the blade, you fagging
so
up.
yeah, I feel. Yeah, I feel you. I was just taken aback.
Mm? No,
Hey,
I feel you,
I
but I
gotta
mean,
put that in my
but
arsenal now. You know what I'm saying? When she try me though, I got
oh, it's different. It's
for real.
different around here, but
I gotta
it's
know when she
different.
go to act.
Yeah,
What we going to
yeah.
ask?
It's Blackberry Smoke around this
God
motherfucker.
damn.
It's
So
different.
you
It's different.
so
It's different.
give an
It hit
example when
different.
you would use the F word describing a woman.
Listen, I want to make it clear. I
All
ain't
right, let's
saying it.
okay. Let's go back to that scenario.
Right.
Let's go back to
I like
the
my
scenario what
job.
Rim said earlier, right? Where to where the woman soon as Brody lost his job, she was like, well, that's some faggot ass shit. That's some faggot
Yeah.
shit. She fagged out on the man. Real talk. But as I was saying though, even as
Yeah.
friends, you know what I'm saying? As friends, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna respect everything you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, if you go upside your wife's head, nigga, so that mean I'm gonna stop fucking with you?
Mm, I see what you're saying.
I don't respect that. I'm not gonna disrespect you and call
Yeah.
you no hoe ass nigga, but I'm not gonna respect what you done. But I'm going to be loyal to you.
Well, I view that we gonna agree to disagree on that, Bress. I need a woman to.
Oh, so if a nigga
Well,
go upside your wife's head, you gonna quit fucking him?
that's not my cup. Well, I ain't got shit to do with them going upside this woman head. I don't respect that shit. I'll check that shit. Yeah, I
But
would.
I'm saying
Yeah, I would.
you'll check it.
I would.
Okay.
See, now I'm about to be disrespectful.
Nah, I'll be like, Phil,
You'll check it up.
go ahead, bro.
Uh,
So if a nigga tell you, man, last night, man, my old lady, she did some faggot ass shit, man. That bitch went to dinner with another nigga, and I ain't
yeah,
hear from her for 3 hours. And then when she got home, I
yeah.
went upside her motherfucking head. So you gonna be like,
You
man,
could
that's
have
some
See,
whole
left.
I
I
would.
shit,
mean,
man.
Yeah, I would be like,
what
dog, you got to be
what if he
smart
like
enough.
six
Any
five and his
man,
wife 5'4"? He gonna kill her. He gonna kill her. If he punch her in the face,
So you don't respect what
right
he
now, I would
did,
just
right?
say, nigga, like that's not the way. That's not the way, G.
I,
You just got to,
it's not,
No, that's not the question.
I'm not.
That's not the question. I'm asking you a yes or no question. If a nigga told you his
But
wife
it's a
cheated on
no
him and he went
yes or no
upside her
question
head,
because
do you
Yeah.
if I
respect
say
that
no, your
decision?
argument's proved. If I say yes, now I look like I condone domestic violence.
My
Right.
argument.
Yeah, exactly. Like no,
Like,
you
yes,
ain't
I
condone no
respect what he
man beating
said.
on.
Oh, so you into beating bitches? No, I'm not. I didn't say that.
I'm just a vessel of the game, B. I'm just a vessel of the game.
No,
It's a
That's
man.
loaded
all I am. I'm
question.
just a vessel.
You set me up.
I'm
That's what
just
you
a vessel,
did.
B. The game just flow through me like electricity on a piece of steel. The
hmm
game just flow through me. It just come out
Nah,
of me,
man.
dog.
So though you
But
saying
I'm
if your
saying,
partner beat on his wife and he told you that, you just gonna be like, well, nigga, she deserved that shit.
Like that shit sound like some faggot shit.
no, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'll be like, yeah, she fagged that on you, but I don't respect that shit, man. You could have handled that shit differently. Am I going to disrespect him? No. Is he going to stop being my
Yeah.
partner? No.
Uh,
So I'm loyal to the lack of respect. Even though I don't respect this decision, I'm still loyal to you.
okay. I can dig it. I'm
All
not
right.
sure if I agree or disagree with it, but I can dig it.
No, but I mean, we tend to confuse the lack of respect
Yeah.
for disrespect, right? And like every decision, everything that you do, you don't have to,
It's not
it's
gonna
not
fall in
going
one
to be
category or the
respected.
other.
You
Well,
know what
if
I'm
you got
saying?
a woman, she better not damn sure not make no damn decision that don't clear with you. And then you'll do the same thing with her. It's a level of respect on both sides. It's basically essentially you got a man needs to be held in high regard. You know what I'm saying? Period. You know what I'm saying? If a woman don't hold you in high
Yeah.
regard and she just steamrolling, doing what the hell she want to do, talking to you any kind of way you want to be talked to, hell no, nah, don't pay them goddamn bills. Really, you shouldn't even be in that relationship.
Yeah. I agree.
Correct.
I'll say yeah. She should hold you in high regard, but you shouldn't go in the eye to make a hold you in that high regard.
No, no, listen, man. I don't advocate eye jammings on the hose, man. For real,
Nah, don't.
for
Nah,
real.
you
I'm
was
not.
saying beat the bitch ass though. That's what you clearly said. And twisted that shit and
I say,
twisted that bitch up so much to like it's a yes or no question. You know,
Well,
beat the
that's
bitch or be disrespected. I
oh
was like,
no, I know how to squeeze the
I
juice up out
see
of
you
fruit,
do.
Jay.
Like, god
I know how to
damn,
squeeze the
though.
juice up out of
Damn, Captain D,
for
shit.
real. I
you
ain't,
know what I'm saying.
Let
I
a
ain't
nigga
know
live.
this. What, Peasy? You gonna stick around for some more topics, or you just want to chime in
I'll
on
You
stick
that
might
one?
as
Man?
around, man.
well.
I got a nice cigar. I got a nice
You got
cigar, man. I fuck with
oh
y'all boys,
Lord,
man.
it's smoke. You got another topic you want? I mean, I got a topic that it's not nearly as heavy as this hour and a long.
No,
How the fuck is
no.
you
Here,
asking?
I don't
You
know.
just get to it,
I don't know if
nigga.
this is out of line to ask this question. What y'all think about Trump ass pleading the fifth?
I think
4, 1. What it say?
Listen.
3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
real quick, honestly, I think Trump is a nigga, and he do it exactly what I think Trump is a motherfucking gangster, and he do what a gangster do in this situation. Keep in mind, I'm not a Trump supporter by any means, but I all right. So part of one of the things that I do is when I'm sitting on the toilet, whatever I'm doing on the toilet, I have these faux or imaginary conversations or interviews with my with.
Hold on, just like you interrupt Doe when Doe we saying shit. Hold on, whatever I'm doing on the
Okay,
toilet.
when I'm
Like, what else do you do on the toilet taking shit? Let me know.
when I'm duking on the toilet, I was trying to be a fucking gentleman and be like when I'm handling my business on the toilet. I know.
Whatever I'm doing on the toilet, like what you do on the toilet, sit there and do. What else there?
There's a lot of daydreaming being done on the toilet, on the commode.
Your legs be dead.
They happen.
You do that shit. You
That
gotta
happen.
get up. You can't feel
That
your
happened,
feet.
and I got gout in one. I got gout in one knee, nigga. You be amazed how many times I done stood up and fell over.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. Anyway.
Hold on, I'm gonna hop out and
bro.
hop right back in.
Do I need extra camera? Or you straight? All right, you got it. No, but one of the interviews that I've had for myself is I've engineered this situation where Trump said some slick shit, and I gave him a diplomatic answer like, "Well, that's his opinion. He's entitled to his opinion." Yeah. He said some slick shit again. I say, "Well, he's entitled to his opinion. That's his opinion." Yeah. The third time, I said, "Hey, tell that nigga to suck my dick." And motherfuckers is taken aback. I'm like, wait, wow, did you just tell the ex-president to suck your dick? I'm like, yeah, this is the problem. I was handling Trump like an actual human being, like a person, like a man. When in actuality, I should have been handling Trump like the gangster he is. A gangster doesn't understand. Yeah. A gangster doesn't understand phrases like, well, he's entitled to his opinion. A gangster understands, tell that nigga to suck my dick.
Yeah.
So,
no, he was in that, but he was in that, like on his whole campaign trail talking about motherfucking, like, well, if you plead the fifth, the truth don't, motherfucking, you're lying about something. This nigga got that bitch plead the fifth 163 motherfucking times. Only thing he pleaded the fifth on was his name.
Whether you like that nigga or you don't, that nigga is doing gangster shit, not gangster shit as in the shit that we would applaud from gangsters. Gangster shit as in Bugsy Siegel, Al Capone, what them niggas would do whether you guilty or innocent. If there's any question, you're like, fuck that, I'm not answering the question. Plead the fifth. Fuck you in them shithole countries that you represent. Fuck you. And that's the fucking bullet.
That's crazy.
Crazy shit. Crazy shit.
I just thought it.
I don't think he had too much recourse. Did you see all the shit they found when they raided Mar-a-Lago?
It's just the fact that they raided the
it's out.
What did they find? But somebody snitched on his That's what it was.
Yeah, well, he had top secret, confidential, classified information on the desk, sitting in the motherfucking chair by the bathroom.
So he doing nigga shit because I have to question, why the fuck is all this work at your house? At your house.
Okay, you remember on Scarface? At the end of Scarface, where Scarface got all these guns and got this big pile of powder on his desk.
That's what I'm saying.
Imagine if it wasn't niggas coming to kill him to get him, but it was the feds.
So it goes back to what we were saying. He wasn't acting like the 45th president of the United States of America. Trump's been acting like a motherfucking gangster. You gotta handle that nigga like a gangster. Damn it.
No, Trump act like an entitled rich white man, and he command the respect of an entitled rich white man.
Like what? This is just top secret documents. Who doesn't have them?
Dude, like literally, you got for your eyes only information sitting next on the motherfucking coffee table next to
a bag of hot damn Burger King.
Correct. Nigga got port rinds and shit next to motherfucking alien documents.
Hold on.
This nigga got motherfucking Cheetos and Fritos and shit.
What you say? Is that a grease stain on the paper right
dude, literally, if you when we finish, go back and look. It said the JFK commission tapes, and then they commission taps. The nigga literally scratched out taps with a pen
Whoa!
and wrote
Shut
tape
the
over
fuck
that
up.
Hold on,
bitch
though. So I'm gonna
on
go
a
higher.
on,
So they showed what they found. Oh,
yes,
so he had the shit at the crib for real. Oh, this
yes.
nigga tripping.
And more, nigga, that's why they went after his ass. And Hillary Clinton petty ass said, but what
Shut
about
the
her
fuck.
emails?
You shut the
She
fuck up.
got dude. The bitch got merch. She got merch. And instead of "Make America Great Again" on the hat, it says, "What about her
Oh
emails?"
wow, this shit crazy.
Nigga, it's petty on top 10.
So
If you would have
It's happening.
told
It's happening. Dog.
Y2K me this, if you would have told Class of 99 me this, if you would have told,
that
if you would have told me that in about 20 years, this shit was.
So this nigga took a pen and scratched that bitch out and renamed it.
Dude,
He
it's
redacted that
dude.
shit himself.
It
That's what that
says
is. He
on the
redacted that shit.
FBI document, it says it has tape scratched out, replaced with taps.
Oh wow.
And dude, you got to look at it, man. It's wild. But growing up in my youth, the office of the president was it was major. It was to be respected. But after Barack Obama and what them white people were doing to Obama, fuck that
You
president
think that's
shit.
when it went down here? I think
Yeah.
honestly it started slipping with Bill Clinton. With Bill Clinton sitting up playing the saxophone, and then George Bush acting like 9/11 wasn't happening when it was happening.
Bill Clinton played the saxophone before he was elected. He played the saxophone at Arsenio Hall show.
So with Bill Clinton getting his dick sucked in the White House.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows that rich men have proclivities.
Okay, so we'll put it. I'll let you. All I'm saying is that at some point around Bill Clinton's tenure, the president.
No, it's still dude. Bill Clinton couldn't have been. He wasn't worse than Nixon.
You know what? As I was saying that shit, I was like, you know what? I might need to go back further because we ain't gonna act like Tricky Dick wasn't shredding documents left and right.
Correct. Watergate and shit like that. Well, fucking security guard unfold the presidency, nigga. Get the fuck out of here. Cause these niggas in the motherfucking dark office with flashlights looking like UFOs in the building.
More than likely, it sounds more like the president of the United States is a badass kid that we've been letting be bad for so many years that now this nigga's in his teenage years and is showing his motherfucking ass. And
No,
I think that was just Trump though. Trump just ran that bitch. Trump ran that bitch.
For the office. The office of presidency was considered the most powerful man in the world. And people lost their respect for the office of the presidency. When Barack Obama became president, you saw memes and you seen Pelosi disrespecting the president on the tarmac. Like, it's bad.
You're right, because she did sit up that motherfucker and rip up the papers behind him, his whole speech. You know, they give the motherfucker the speech, and she was there right there ripping that bitch up, nigga, setting that bitch aside. I say, God damn. Yeah.
Disrespected the office of the presidency. And just like, any form of disrespect, that's why I say, perfect example, you ain't got to respect it, but once you disrespect it, you excommunicado.
I ain't know they found the shit at the nigga house, though. Now y'all gonna make me want to. I'm gonna go watch that shit.
I'm gonna check it out when we're done in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix me another drink if we able.
Okay. You saying you need a break?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. We're going to take a small intermission and come back with more of the show.
Peebo Bryson?
No, nigga.
No.
That's a completely different nigga. We don't know that nigga. Peebo drip! Exclamation point.
And
The
Peebo Drip
salty
and Rockin' Radio
teardrops.
Supreme.
Peebo drip! Exclamation
Oh,
point
my
and the
bad.
salty teardrops. They've been rocking since the 1960s, through the 70s, through the 80s, through the 90s. They took a hiatus. They came back in the early 2000s on the Lil Jon beat. What's the name of the track? They had that one single back in 2005. Noodles is food too.
That's dope. Yeah, that
That shit was
was
hard.
dope.
That shit
That
was
was
hard.
that was dope. And also Threesome with a Gemini was dope too. I thought that was
pretty
fire.
fucking dope.
I thought
like
that was
one.
fire. Hey, nothing. No
That
threesome.
That was hard.
That was pretty dope.
Up in you.
And also their last song. I gotta get one in. Wheelchairs ain't just for people that can't walk.
I was a little bit skeptical about that one, but now listen to it. The younger me didn't appreciate that one, but the older me appreciated that one a lot.
Yeah, it was mediocre fire. I think it charted.
No, like if you go back and listen to it now, because I was looking for that a lot of bass and it was more saxophone. But if you go back and listen to it now, like there's a lot of artistry in that, man. It's that whole Equimini, what's the Equimini? The second, Two Dope Boy, the second ATLians. It's that whole ATLians effect. I wasn't intellectually prepared to appreciate it then as I am now.
Oh, I like. I think it was in an interview in which he said it, that when they went over there, it was around that time when they tried to jump off in '94, and it was crack rock don't belong in a crack pipe. I thought that was fire. I thought that was fire. I thought, nigga, that was the love ballad of the summer, nigga, for real.
Yeah, that shit was called. They say crack rock don't belong in a crack pipe.
Correct, Jack, for real. When he was, baby, he had that thing going on, baby. I want to be your man. No need for a crack pipe, cause we can smoke it out of a can. I was like, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, so I guess it's innovation time.
I'm finna, yeah.
This is
I decide, not you. Now, you don't love me anymore, that breaks my heart, but it's still fucking bad, because you don't gotta love me. But you will respect me.
This is INMF.
I loved you. What happens? I decide, not you. Now you don't love me anymore. Well, that breaks my heart, but it's still fucking bad because you don't gotta love me, but you will respect me.
This is INMF.
All right, so we back in, man.
Oh man, I love the sounds of Peebo's drip and the corny cornballs, nigga. That shit rocks.
Not gonna let you do this. Not gonna let you do that. Nigga said the corn balls.
I'm just
Nigga
saying
said
it rocks,
Peebo
man.
drip in the
Shit.
saltwater taffies.
That's a fact, nigga. Nigga said felines is for fishes. You know what I'm saying? So I believe it.
So, what do we want to talk about? All right. Let me ask you a question, both of y'all. I had a thought the other day. So, I'm almost certain both of you gentlemen are familiar with porn stars. Still with me?
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was
if you
carnal information that you
No,
don't
it's
share
gonna
with
get
the
bad.
public.
If there was a porn star you could see in an actual movie, or an actual actor / actress you could see in a porn, not just from the aspect of the physical appearance. I mean, because you know what we're watching the porn for, but we both know that we all know that pornographies are lacking in artistic credibility when it comes to the actual, like, the plot, the setup of the film. If you could see a porn star in a regular movie, what star would it be in what, like what movie?
I'm gonna let you take that one, Captain D.
Oh,
No, I defer to you.
that's where we
I
at.
defer to you.
That's where we at. That's where we
Number
at.
one contributor.
Okay.
Not a one, not a single one. You mean to tell
Hold
me?
on, G. Hold on. I'm trying to think. Like a porn star actually acting?
Yeah,
Like, why would I want to see that bitch?
because you.
Well, I guess you should know my porn preference. I'm very niche porn based. Like, I like when women
Okay.
to look a certain type of way, and I couldn't, I couldn't imagine necessarily seeing Cherokee the ass acting in The Color Purple.
Have
Like,
you
I just
have you
don't.
heard like any
Well,
of her
with Mister,
dialogue?
hold on. That scene with Mister on top of her, Cherokee throwing it back though, nigga. I
I
mean,
mean,
Yeah,
now
come
that
like,
on
but
so
now.
it would make
you like the
a
belts
better
was rocking the
porn
shit,
than a
and she
movie.
shake that shit clean off the motherfucking headrail, out the
Right, when
headboard.
she went in there to get the when they were sitting on the porch, when she went in there to get the lemonade or whatever, you know what I'm saying? The ass, I don't know, man. That's a long stretch there, Bear.
Yeah, the nigga said you set me up, didn't you, Rim?
What I'm saying, I mean, cause I'm
You
saying,
set me up, didn't you? on the Marion Barry side of the game, man.
Let's say
You
briefcase
set me
full
up,
coat.
pimp your run.
I mean, because
That's
that's one
that's a
thing that I
tall
do. Like
order,
I sit
pimp.
back and I think
no,
about it.
the only thing I want to see is a porn star in is a porn. Like I'm trying to
But that's
like
only
put them
because
in
you know she's a
something else.
porn star.
But I wouldn't want to see her
Right? That
outside
I
of
mean,
porn.
like I
Not
don't even
ever.
watch the first part when they. Do you watch the setup when they be in the kitchen? Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
And like there's
I
sometimes
don't
where I'm
watch
like,
that part of the
this is
porn.
clearly a porn.
no,
Yeah,
I
I fast
fast
You
forward
a
forward.
through that
hot.
shit. I
First
just
off, if you fast forward through the setup, you're a hot damn caveman. All right.
What nigga?
Yeah,
so you
that's the
watch
wind
porn for
up.
the story, huh?
Hold on. Let me tell you how. Yeah, I know y'all watch porn online, and this will show you. Give you an example. I know y'all watch. What is it? Pornhub, right?
We'll say
Y'all
yeah.
know y'all. Yeah, okay. Pornhub, right? Hypothetically
Hypothetically
speaking,
speaking.
right? And
Niggas
so
act like they in interrogation room.
they got another one that's on there, and you normally you get in there, and then you got to kind of like from what you saying is skim through, but
Yeah.
they got this one website, you know, that has little icons like if it's a mouth, she giving head, if it's an ass, she pumping, so you can just click.
So
It's technology, please. And
so
I'm letting
it's
you
got
know
a
so you
key.
know what's popping at what
so
point
if
in the
it got the peach, that means you're getting hit from the bike.
yes, just like that, G. And like
Okay.
I can't undo that now. Like if I go back to Pornhub and I got to scrub the scene,
Mm-hmm.
that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I need to go straight to the part that I want to see. You get what I'm saying? And it does that.
Okay.
Conversation, Jack.
So
What'd you say,
So
sir?
what? Oh, okay. So let me put the question back on you, Rim.
mhm.
What porn star would you like to see in a regular movie? And keep in mind before you start, Sasha Grey actually was in. I believe she was in Twilight.
I'm not. I don't recall. I have to investigate that, but I do know Vanessa Del Rio was in that one movie with Bernie Mac and Samuel L. Jackson. That was pretty nice. I like to see Vanessa Del Rio and I like to see Vanessa. I like to see
I'm curious about this.
Oh,
what
Lay it on me. Lay it on me, Jack.
this one on like this one like
I could
sex with a
see.
question
I
like
could
this.
see old girl.
Oh,
I could see old girl. Old girl that was rocking with the braces. I could see her playing an incarnation of Storm in an X-Men film.
who had braces? You got to be a little bit more
Jada Fire.
specific, please.
I couldn't think of her name. I guess there's a
No,
listen. So
no,
I'm not gonna let you do that. Listen,
no.
let me explain. So as I'm watching, as you watch these films, you watch them. There's a period where you see them acting like in the very beginning, and you wonder if there's
So hold on.
untapped talent there.
For contextual reasons, you watch porn more than 6 minutes
Sometimes before and after,
after.
like after, like
And you still watching the porn?
Hey, when I bust that nut, I close that laptop, and be like nasty motherfucker.
Correct.
Ugh.
Correct.
nah, man. Y'all,
Correct.
y'all,
Why did I
cause
say
y'all
that?
judgmental
Oh,
like that,
I
man.
have seen.
Cause y'all judgmental like that. Y'all
Ancestors are watching,
y'all niggas is like pilgrims. Like pilgrims be on that shit. Pilgrims and Pentecostals on that shit like thou shalt not sin, and then you go commit the sin, and then you act like you didn't commit the sin and be like, hey, let's stop sinning. I'm more, I guess, Baptist, where it was like, hey, it happened. We not going to embrace it, but we not finna just push away and act like it didn't happen. That's what I'm saying.
So you don't pray for help, you pray for forgiveness.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Okay. I'm really not sure where to go with this.
I would like to see. You remember Janet Jackman?
Okay, so
Yes.
I like to see Wesley Pipes play
Le-
You would like to
Sherlock
see a
Holmes.
man act?
What's that
I,
motherfucker that be talking about? They be talking about nasty bitch who
Wesley
got the
Pike.
gun.
That's
I
what.
like to see.
Like,
Now he can play Blade though. He can
I
play
can see it.
Blade.
So you're
are
starting
you
to
fucking?
see it.
Are
And
you
she's like,
guys
"Oh, you
fucking serious?
nasty.
Okay, you
Oh, you nasty. You a vampire. You nasty." This one,
Bite that neck right
right
there.
there.
Bite it right there, just
That's
like
why I
that.
like it.
Just
and
like
just
that.
like that, what I was just saying isn't so far fetched. Now, granted, not every porn star can play this off, but there's porn stars that develop these characters, and that's what they are. Wesley Pipes ain't Darren fucking Johnson, whatever this nigga name is. He created a character, and when he created that character, he started acting. And the fact that he was able to take that character and excel that character, transcend that character. Vanessa Del Rio, Jada Fire, fucking Cherokee the Ass, fucking
Passionate. That shit.
huh?
Pay attention. No,
So
keep
at the
going.
end
Keep
of the
going.
day, some of these porn stars are porn stars, but some of these porn stars are creating characters, and they get so involved in these characters that they're subconsciously acting. And what I would like to see is that same talent transferred over into actual film.
Why?
Uh, this good.
That's a
Shit.
tough. Okay. What else you got, Ram? No.
Just good. So,
Have you ever seen a documentary on porn stars?
no. What?
Do you understand the machinations of
Do I
porn?
stand? Wait. Are you trying to start preaching?
No, I'm not going to start preaching. There's nothing biblical in it, but I mean, like the actual how porn works.
I don't know. I feel like this is a trick question.
It's really not.
Yeah,
What?
like you shoot a
We'll
film,
talk
it's
about
a
that.
dirty film, and you sell the dirty film. You all right over there, man? Or should we change the subject?
Who you talking to?
The gentleman over there at the left. Oh.
You asked a question.
Yeah, I did.
That I definitely was not ready for.
I'm sorry.
You know, it was because I really look at porn stars as porn stars. I
And
think
that's
like
part of a
that's just
problem.
kind of like
And that's the ultimate reason why I asked the question. It's about how one's maybe past
perception.
defines perception, and it shouldn't be that way. And you got some porn stars that are just generic porn stars that they don't desire to excel past that, but you have some that do excel past that subconsciously because they've devoted themselves to this role. You take someone like Pinky. Pinky isn't this young lady's real name, but she's created this role, and she's acted in this role for like 12 years. That's a. I'm sorry.
Around.
Mm-hmm.
I get your love for Pinky, but there's no right way to do the wrong thing.
What the fuck are we
Like,
talking about here? What are you talking about? Are we talking about like there's no right way to like?
They're porn stars, and the illusion of a porn star is to one day fuck the porn star. It's just like actors. The illusion of actors are that these people are great actors. It's all an illusion. If you ever met Pinky, I would be willing to bet everything I have in life that you would not want to see her on a fucking camera acting
I like
out
to see it.
in motherfucking
I like to see it.
So you talking about if we saw the porn star in real life, we wouldn't want to see them naked?
No. He said I wouldn't want to see her
I'm
acting.
saying you
I wouldn't be
think
like, hey,
to
Pinky.
want to see them acting in a serious
Hey,
role
Pinky.
in the be
Yeah,
Viola Davis.
and then and Rem, keep in mind these motherfuckers don't be doing no real. Oh my God, my pipes are broken. I need to hire somebody to fix them. Then all of a sudden, the nigga show up at the door with a tool belt. You know what I'm saying? It's a Timberland boot. You know what I'm saying? Then it's 2 minutes later they fucking.
Yeah,
I
Chadwick
mean, it's not
Boseman.
much.
like
Chadwick Boseman played in a movie like 14 Bridges right before he passed away, right? And people were up in arms because there was a group saying that he deserved an Oscar or whatever nomination of award was given at that time, and um, there was another group saying that he didn't do enough to deserve that award.
Right.
And the argument that I made at the time was he deserved the award because not only was he acting in the film, at the time he was an actor acting in the film while acting like there was nothing wrong with him. Because no one on that film realized that he was actually dying.
you do realize that they do have the porn award
Fuck
yearly
that.
stuff.
This is what I'm saying. So my point is that if he can do that, I believe these skills that we see a lot in porn. I'm not saying like everybody, right? I'm not naive, but I'm saying there are some cases where these skills may be transferable to the point to where there's untapped talent in the adult film industry, to the point to where you have some of those next level actors and actresses like Daniel Day-Lewis's motherfuckers that like engulf themselves in a character in the adult film industry. And my grounds for that is that there's people in the adult film industry currently, as well as in the past, conducting a whole career based off of this
This nigga's actually
based off of
serious
this
about
character,
this shit.
this character. Vanessa Del Rio, there's I don't know, somewhere we'll call it fucking Jada Snow or whatever. Now, she was like a special ed teacher, and then she was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go to California, I'm gonna do porn, and she did porn for like fucking 15, 20 years, but she was a fucking teacher before she did that shit, and she went to California and she started acting. Granted, she started acting in fucking porn, but she wasn't acting like a fucking teacher anymore. The only difference between what she was doing and what fucking Marlon Brando or fucking what Jodie Foster or girl.
You know, I gotta stop you. This shit
What you mean?
going too far. I gotta stop you, man. This shit is going too far, and we're by far off the rails. Do you realize that like 90% of the women in life fake orgasm, and they sell it to your ass like, oh my
I
gosh, it
don't
was the
realize
greatest
that.
thing
I
ever.
don't date 90% of women. I don't know.
No, man.
And there it is.
I don't know.
There it
That
is.
shit be real. That shit be real to me.
I blow in booty. So when I
That,
hear
well,
that shit
there
be
it
real.
is. And that's why you would think a porn star should be considered a serious actress for
So what's the
fucking on camera.
difference?
What do you mean? What's the difference? Basically, by your logic, every woman by that metric would make a great
No,
actress.
I've seen some women that make horrible actors. I've seen some women try to fake it. Hell, I try to fake it. I faked it, but I was horrible at it. That doesn't mean I'm Denzel.
You try to fake what?
A nut.
I have to. That's why I say. Well, I consider myself.
Listen, you get tired. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and you spit on the booty.
I didn't go that far, but yeah,
Y'all
you get tired.
Oh, my fault. I spit on the booty. My fault.
What is the purpose of
I'm
spitting
a
on the
boot.
booty though?
To make it
So
so
like,
you get something
like
warm
she
to
thinks
feel
she
like
got
a
shot in on. Like I get what he was doing. I never did it,
Yeah.
but I get what he was doing. Listen,
Yeah,
you might not have
back.
experienced this, but sometimes you get what you call stroker's fatigue, and that's after a while. After a while, you
On
you
the
go
liquor.
from you go from to like
No, that wasn't my thing. I was
get
just
tired.
big and tired.
You get tired.
So.
You still,
Yeah.
but
No,
it's
it
not
wasn't.
the same. You don't have that same ghost. All right, imagine you was trying to catch Pokemon, and you were trying to catch all the Pokemon, right? Well, the first 10, 20,
Mm-hmm.
you gonna give it your all. By 50, you just throwing that ball out there. Hoping you catch the motherfucker, right? Hoping you catch
What else you got, Ron?
So Alex Jones got sued. Did we talk about that shit yet?
No, we ain't went over.
Are you familiar with that, Don?
Nah, I don't know who Alex Jones is.
All right.
Oh yeah, the boy from Wars.
Stormfront.
Not Stormfront.
Infowars.
Infowars.
Stormfront is a character on the
And
boys.
then it was Infowars, and then he did Stormfront.
So he recently got hit on the head for about $45 million, which on one hand, let him tell it, they only make like $800,000 a day. So let's go put him under.
Well,
go ahead.
hey, Ron, why don't you tell us who was Alex Jones? What is Alex Jones known for?
Some white guy. But no, he's a I'm not gonna put him on political affiliation. He's a journalist who leans towards more not necessarily conspiracy theories, but I guess alternative ideas.
What makes him a journalist?
Occupation. I don't think he's a journalist by trade, by education. I think it's more just by occupation. He's a nigga.
So he's a podcaster like us. Correct.
I don't know how professional you wanted me to be, but with his podcast, there was an incident, a horrible incident that in Houston where there was a school shooting, and where everyone else was saying like this was a horrible disaster, it shouldn't happen. He was saying, "Oh, this was committed by like trolls and aliens and shit, and this is crisis actors, and we shouldn't believe it," which wasn't true. And in any other circle,
it was the Sandy Hook shooting.
Mm-hmm. And in any other circle,
he said it didn't happen. That's what he said. He said it was fake.
Yeah, first he said it didn't happen. Then he said it happened, but it was fake, like it was staged.
Yeah, and he was spread. They just because his platform and his reach, what he had, but you can't.
Correct.
Yeah, you can't spread that type of shit like that.
And
you know what I'm saying? That
was one of the things that was brought up in trial because with him spreading it, he had these followers who, believed that these things that he was saying, which was obviously not true, they believed they were true, and they were acting on that, like to the point to where they were harassing these victims, and that led to lawsuits, which led to him going to court, which led to him losing the court case and having to pay $45 million, at least 45.
I think that just boils down into people believe.
Let me interject. Before you continue, Don Pizza, let me add one caveat to that whole entire Alex Jones trial. And the reason why I say and I'm going to say it's fucked up before you get into what you can do, it's a caveat to that case, and which is overlooked. The communication between Alex Jones and his lawyer was leaked to the prosecutor, his lawyer said that he was giving the prosecutor the wrong information, and he was actually sending them their personal conversation.
That's a whole part of the shit. Like that's probably like, you know how like in these Perry Mason ass trials you have like a bombshell. That was the bombshell of this trial. The one mistake a motherfucker shouldn't commit, they committed. It'd be like if me and you was constantly talking shit about this nigga, about Doe, right? But we was doing it via text message, and we go to court, right? And they say, "Have you ever said anything about the good Capt'n?" I'd be like, "Nah, I don't recall saying anything about him. I don't really know him like that." So, what's that?
Yeah, they'll play the video.
When you clearly have me talking shit about this nigga, that's what they.
Yeah, they did that to him.
He did the same thing with the judge. Yeah. He was like, "Did you have picture of the judge
Yeah, set
burning?
her ass on fire and
No,
shit.
I did not. I don't recall that. And they showed a picture on this nigga with this nigga saying, "This is the judge that's against
Do,
me," and had
do
the
you
judge
know
on fire.
how fucked up?
Well, I think that in what I was gonna say, in the
Well,
United States of America, at least where we at, we feel we got freedom of speech, but you don't got freedom of consequence though. So you can say what you want to say,
I agree.
but you held
I agree.
accountable for that shit. You definitely
at,
can say what the fuck you want to say. You know,
at
ain't
what
nobody
point?
stopping you. Go ahead, brother.
At what point are you responsible for how the people that listen to your bullshit react?
That becomes the responsibility
Yeah.
matrix, right? Like on this show, I would never say, "Man, if a bitch ain't sucking your dick twice a day, that bitch ain't shit. Fuck her." And you should do that too.
Mm.
Remember, we go back a couple of shows ago where we said that the moral composition of black people, where we have our views but we don't impose our views, is the complete opposite for the
Mm-hmm.
dominant society.
Well, and also
Mm.
you said if a dude beat his wife up, you know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna
You know what
disrespect him.
I'm
I
saying?
might not respect what he did,
You
but I
you
ain't
you
gonna
painted
disrespect him.
old Remy Rim and I in the corner and said basically
God,
we better
God,
not
been
say
holding on to that
shit.
shit for
We
about
better not say
45
Hey,
nothing.
Tim,
minutes. He's
that's
like,
what good dialogue
hey,
do. That's what
as
good
soon as I
dialogue
catch
do.
that nigga slipping, I'm gonna bring that shit right back.
Exactly, and that's what you said.
But where
Mm.
is the lie?
That's exactly how Allie Jones felt. Where is the lie?
So,
Because he believed it.
Well, he told a bold face fucking lie. He said it didn't happen. I said, if you hit your bitch, I ain't gonna respect what you did, but I ain't gonna disrespect you behind it.
so
Those are not
of course he
parallel.
went to court. Of course, all this shit played out, and it came out that he was lying. His artist, his artist, not his artist, his lawyer did the one thing you shouldn't do in a fucking trial, which was give information to the opposing motherfucking team that you niggas have been lying about the whole time. This whole shit was just horrible.
Well,
And
the
he
well, the
was
thing about Alex Jones, his show is recorded. It's public knowledge. You get what I'm saying? Like
mm-hmm,
this show you guys have, and I appreciate being a guest on.
mm-hmm,
But this is public knowledge. Anybody can pull this up, and
mm-hmm.
anything that you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
You will be
Accountable.
held in contempt
Yeah.
of
So
But
you
prosecution.
got to be careful with that shit.
there was a level of negligence involved in it because like he would go to court on Monday and then on Monday night he was like, yeah, the judge is the fucking lizard. She's a demon. You should watch the case. Like you're in
Right.
court talking shit about the judge. Like he wasn't stopping his
You
shit.
should never do that. That is horrible.
Wasn't recommended.
Facts.
So I'm saying, like,
Who in the hell?
at what point do you abandon your character and become Alexander Jones? Like,
Well,
at what
when
point
they
do you be like, hey, I'm sorry?
Well, I think with a situation like that, when I first encountered and ran across Alex Jones, I thought I was like, this racist ass.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? But then I think to a degree that we oversimplify situations and say that he's playing a character
mm,
when that may just be who he
well,
is.
no, keep
mm.
Because like
go ahead. Go ahead.
the same way he speaks on conspiracy theory is truthfully. Have you ever heard his views on racism?
No,
I haven't, but
I haven't.
I can imagine. Like, if you gave me multiple
Bro,
choice,
go back. Like, no, you think it's funny, dog? Like he didn't pull a punch. He was straight up
But
with the
oh,
shit.
keep in
He
mind,
was straight up with the
he
shit.
had videotapes and
oh,
shit doing what he was doing with tapes. It's just like your boy who the first dude who took the Capitol riots and took it to trial. You remember
talking
the
about the
first dude?
shaman.
No, the dude the first dude just now, I forget his name. but he got 7 years in prison, and essentially,
Oh no, that was the only black
no,
dude.
this a
That,
white dude. It's a white dude. It's a white dude. He took
what
it.
that
He
nigga
took it.
have on?
No,
You remember what he was
essentially,
wearing?
nah,
this nigga wanted to be the shaman so fucking bad.
listen,
I'm
this
sorry.
motherfucker.
I'm listening. I just gotta adjust
Yeah,
something. I'm
Nah,
listening
they
up.
had cell phone location on this motherfucker.
yeah.
They had his kids testifying against him. They
Cut. You
had
know what,
videotape
bro?
of the
That
gun
nigga's
on
from.
his hip.
You know where I live, right?
Right.
He from here.
Oh wow, yes, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
certain shit, like certain shit, you just supposed to plea out. You know what I'm saying? He just rolled that shit out. They was like, this you in the picture.
Look,
This your cell phone showing.
I
We have
love my
cell
kids to
phone
death.
footage. Yeah.
I
And
love my kids to death. If it's one
oh
of them
yeah.
things where my kids call the law on me, I'm like, it ain't looking too good,
Nah, he
right?
told the
But
kids if you snitch on me, you'll be executed like a traitor. And the kids went in the courtroom and told the motherfuckers that shit.
at some point, you gotta lead them to your lawyer and be like, "Hey, stop this,
Mm-hmm.
stop this. Let's see if we can figure something out."
Right? Can I take that plea bargain again? You know what I'm saying? It was like. I was like, is this motherfucker dog? They had the cell phone triangulating on his location.
Cuz was up the street and around the corner. This is subdivision. Yeah, right here.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing? But again, that's that white privilege, man. They think that they can do and say what they want to say, like it's 1776 or some shit, and you breaking in independence or something. I don't know what the fuck was going on, but that shit was crazy as fuck. Like, why would you take that to trial? Just like Alex Jones, why in the fuck you took that to
You
trial?
should have played out way before it got to this point.
And play it out and apologize and gave that money, but he wanted to stand on, freedom of speech and who he was and how he felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he dropped his anchor down, and then at the same time, you don't understand like all those hundreds of thousands. Even if you take the video down, all that the FBI, the motherfucking prostitutes gonna knock on YouTube door, tap tap tap. Let's get those tapes. Everyone he uploaded. You see?
No, that's when they go in and say, "I need that keyword search, please."
Cause
Mm-hmm.
what's going cause what they stated in the trial was the text message that was leaked. The DOJ of the January 6th Commission was like, "Hey,
Listen,
can we get those?"
you can ain't shit leak no more, man. These goddamn cell phone companies play with the motherfucking all this shit recorded. Even this show. Everything we do, the motherfuckers be like, I'm off grid. You can't be off grid.
Mm,
Unfortunately, you can't be. Not in this day and age.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? Unless I guess you could, but you definitely got to be a true bushman.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be a true bushman, but you was born in some hospital. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
I mean, at the end of the day, so you really
On
not
the Michael Jackson
Right.
side of the
yeah,
game.
right. It ain't like you was
Where did
born in
you
the
come
woods and you
from?
ain't got no birth certificate and you don't really exist and shit. You actually do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Oh, you talking about them brother Mufti and them Israelites and shit. Nah,
Well, all I'm saying is,
that claiming sovereignty wearing kufti and
come
shit.
on, G.
Nigga
And it's
said,
like, but then motherfucker be like, but I get my social security check on the first.
and they'd be right there waiting with the guns drawn, waiting on y'all at that young mailbox.
That shit, man, it trips me out because I do meet a lot of people. Why you get a cell phone? You in the Matrix. Or you got a Facebook. You in the Matrix. Bitch, you walk. You know when you drive on these roads, they take pictures of you.
Mm.
Period. It's no way around that shit,
I
man.
think at this point where that's like technology that was in the '90s on Enemy of the State that they know where you at all times. But in today's society, nigga, they got satellites taking pictures of your
Yeah,
face
your face, the whole
on the
whole
right.
They
thing.
see your ass. They see
Yeah,
your
like
ass.
are y'all familiar with Sentinel Island?
Right. But here's the other thing: you don't want to get no license plate and shit because you don't want to be a DOV, so you riding a horse. But are you standing out more when you riding a horse
No,
on the
I'm
interstate?
serious.
You know what I'm saying?
Are y'all familiar with Sentinel Island?
No, go ahead, my brother.
Sentinel or Centennial?
Sentinel,
Like X-Men shit, like the big green, big purple Sentinel.
Correct. There's an island called Sentinel Island, and it's one of the last few places that has been imperialized or conquered, so to
Is it
speak,
in the
right?
U.S.?
And no, it's on the
Okay.
outside of Africa. It's called Sentinel Island, and literally they've literally anybody who's tried to come over there, they killed them.
Oh yes,
There
yes,
was
yes.
recently,
You're correct. I do know about that island.
What
They
the
just leave them motherfuckers
fuck
alone
are y'all talking about?
because no, it's an island, dog. That they straight motherfucking like bushmen
correct.
and fucking. That's all they know, and they just let them. They
Yeah,
just lead them.
yeah,
They
they're
just
off the
lead them
grid.
there.
They're off the grid.
They lead them there.
Off the grid. It's called off the grid. The way we as Americans think living off the
Do they
grid,
give
they
you a
actually live
warning
like
before
that.
you hit this island? Be like, hey,
Yeah,
don't
they
come here.
do.
We
With
gonna
a
kill
with a
you.
with a
Yeah.
with a
No,
motherfucker
they do
blow
not.
dart
No,
in
they
your
do
neck,
not.
nigga. That's what you get. They was a
If you go, dog, 2 years ago, there was a National Geographic. No, it wasn't a National Geographic guy. It was a rich man's son. He tried to go and like it was his. I guess he thought he felt entitled to go over there, and he
He was
wanted to
the
make a
ate
whites.
that
connection with them.
motherfucker.
He, dog, they sent back a boat full of bloody
They ate
bones.
that motherfucker, dog. That nigga was dinner.
Bomb them niggas. Like, yeah. So wait. So,
But you can't against NATO.
so we should post some signs saying, "Hey, don't fuck around over here. Them niggas is real niggas."
They got satellite pictures of these motherfuckers of like when a plane fly over, they go to the beach and shit. They be having their arrows and shit out that motherfucker.
Shoot,
And they'll be shooting it.
shooting at the plane,
Yeah,
cuz.
but
Yeah,
now, dog, now their technology is growing. That was 2 years ago where they had the arrows shooting at the plane. Now they literally have coverings across the entrance to the island to where you can see like straw coverings over the visual and between the
Just so
forest and the
y'all are both
beach.
aware, I'm looking this shit up when we get home. Not from a point of skepticism, but from a place of intrigue because this shit is fucking
Intriguing, yeah.
horrifying, yet fucking
yeah.
intriguing.
Why is it
Because
horrifying?
it's
Like
horrifying because of the idea that death is a ship sail away. Like if I don't know if I wanted to go to fucking Senegal and I want to go fishing and I was gonna go out on this lake and go fish and if
no,
okay, so
it's
it'd be
miles
one of those things
like
where I
300.
literally have to be looking for it to fuck around and find it. Okay.
Correct. You have to
Okay.
Hey,
intentionally go there.
G. When you go on there, you going on. They'll tell you don't go over there. They gonna let you know
Straight
that.
up.
They stay away from over there.
Straight up.
Yeah.
But it is an island that's indigenous people, like true motherfucking. That's what that's what
Aborigine.
they own, dog.
Aborigine.
And like nobody fucks with them. They just let them be. Now that's off the grid. They don't know how many
Yeah.
true
Yeah.
people are there.
They're
They
off
don't know
grid.
how many, but they know you go there fucking around. They got something for you.
Niggas
So
said they
here's the
sent back a
thing: they don't
boat
even
of
know what
bones.
species
Do
of
what?
animals
Yeah,
are
G.
there. They not even know the species of
Right.
animals that are
Because
on the
niggas is not
island.
fucking around over there.
Oh, nigga, they could be He-Man riding on motherfucking lions and shit, Jack. For
Yeah,
real.
that
For
shit
real
there is
talk.
fucked up,
Cuz
dog.
named Lionel.
Did you look it up,
Bro.
G? Did you look it up, Rim?
I'm not gonna look it up right now because I can't
Oh,
multitask
okay.
like that. But I am at some
Oh,
point.
nah.
I,
I wish
it,
I had my iPad out here so I could give some more information on the shit. But I remember seeing that shit and watched the whole
what?
documentary. Now
Hold on.
keep in mind the documentary was not shot.
Hey, Google, give me information
The
on Sentinel
documentary
Island.
was not shot from the island. That shit was shot
Give
from
me
across the
information.
street.
I bet it was. Hot damn.
That shit was
Yeah,
not shot. You know
hey,
how they,
niggas be circling around that bitch in the boat. Be like, now over here, it's the northern region.
Oh, okay.
you know they
My
got that
apologies.
place. They got another place called Snake Island too. That they don't
Yeah.
let people go out there at all and get them goddamn snakes because the whole island filled with snakes, poisonous snakes that'll kill your ass. And then the people who do go over there, they essentially it's a law that if you go, you got to go with a doctor. Now I don't know what the doctor gonna do if one of these snakes
So
get
I
on your
declare
ass.
your ass dead.
Dog, it's called Snake
Okay.
Island.
This is what it says about North
Lay it
Sentinel
on.
Island. Is one of the Andaman Islands, an Indian archipelago in the Bay of Bengal, which also includes South Sentinel Island. It is home to the Sentinelese, an indigenous people in voluntary isolation who have defended, often by force, their protected isolation from the outside world.
Yeah.
The Andaman and Nicobar
Hey,
Islands
hey, 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 hey,
protection of
hey, hey.
Aboriginal
The what islands, nigga?
Andaman, Andamasium, okay, but Andaman is in
That one. The
Nicobar
who?
Islands, NICO,
Okay.
NICO, Nico,
But truth of the
Nicobar,
matter,
Nicobar.
if it was some resources over there that the United States
They would
needed,
have took
they'll
them.
get that shit. They'll clean that bitch clean out,
Hold
nigga.
Lay it
on,
on.
I'm about to get to that. It prohibits travel to the island and any approach closer than 5 nautical miles in order to prevent the tribal community from getting foreign diseases to which they have no acquired immunity. This area is patrolled by the Indian Navy.
Mm.
Nominally, the island belongs to the South Andaman Administrative District, part of the Indian Union Territory of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. In practice, Indian authorities recognize the islanders' desire to be left alone and restrict their role to remote monitoring. They do not prosecute them for killing people, meaning they can get away with
Run it
murder on
back.
the island.
You said they do what?
Okay. In practice, Indian authorities recognize the islanders' desire to be left alone and restrict their role to remote monitoring. They do not prosecute them for killing people. The island is a protected area of India. In 2018, the government of India excluded 29 islands, including North Sentinel, from the restricted area permit regime in a major effort to boost tourism. In November 2018, the government's home ministry stated that relaxation of the prohibition was intended to allow researchers and anthropologists with pre approved clearance to visit Sentinel Islands. The Sentinelese have repeatedly attacked
Mm.
approaching vessels. Such attacks have resulted in the deaths of 2 fishermen in 2006 and American Christian missionary John
Mm.
Allen
Mm.
Chow in
That's the nigga that
They
sit
2018.
going
back
on
in the
there
bus.
they trying to give them some clothes and shit, take them through cell phones and shit. Them
They tried, and I said it was a rich man's son on a mission, but he was on a Christian mission to try to bring Christianity to the island, and they offed his ass.
yeah, G, don't fuck around out there. I
Yeah,
saw that
yeah.
shit. Yeah, I saw that shit. I saw that shit. I was like, I watched a whole lot of videos on it too. You know what I'm saying?
God damn.
I watched a whole lot of videos. Like that little place, like that same, see, in history to me is something that is very intriguing to me. Like
Yeah.
to get back. I wish I had like a dial I could really turn back and see. Like what's that lake that's in Atlanta that everybody go to and shit like that.
Lake Lanier,
That one.
Lake Lanier.
Where it was
They
built over slave community. I'm sorry, not
yeah,
slave
they
community,
No,
flood.
but African American community.
it's a
Yeah,
flood town. It's a flood
yeah.
town.
Right, they flooded that bitch out. And
Lake
just like
Lanier is entire town that's flooded.
Manhattan, what like in Manhattan, what's that
Central
part?
Park. It's
Central Park.
Central Park.
Mm.
Yes, that type of shit. And like all
That,
this
that was a black.
back community. And they got records and all of that shit. So it's just history is very intriguing. And then, just even like that island, I just look at that like, wow. You know what I'm saying? That even kind of goes on. You know what I'm saying? Still a day. But there are some like that's off the grid, off the grid. You know what I'm saying? When they
Mm.
can't even prosecute you and shit, like hey, they just be like that nigga there don't fuck with them. Don't fuck with them.
Yeah, leave them
I,
alone. Folks.
That's
that's what I'm
Leave
saying.
them
Like
alone. Folks.
if I'm ever in a foreign country and there's something that at some point the tour guide or whatever this nigga name is like, hey, yeah, don't go over there. You have to realize that whatever's over there is more dangerous than where you're at. So if
Right.
like in Africa, with all respect to the motherland, some of them 12, 13-year old, 15-year old be told AKs. And if I go from there to a place where motherfuckers like, hey, don't go left. Left is pretty fucking fucked up.
Brazil, don't go to the favelas. Stay on the beach.
God damn.
Yeah, Brazil. Yeah, Brazil is someplace you don't want to go. Them motherfuckers cut your arms and head off, all kind of shit.
Yeah. But here's the thing,
That's
though.
the land
Here's
of
the
the
thing.
of the of the butt lift, my nigga. Like what?
I agree, dog.
No,
But
Brazil, land
no,
of Brazil is the land
you can
transsexual.
go to Brazil, but you definitely got to stay on the tourist circuit. You got to stay because they got tourism over there. You can go to Brazil and shit and have a good time, Colombia and shit like that. But there's certain places that you just don't need to go. You know what I'm saying? Even in the United States, if you think about it,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. There's certain places like if I went to Indiana, I ain't going to Gary. I ain't going to them little other little.
You. Gary is the birthplace of Michael Jackson. You
I
should
was
go see
like
Michael
going
Jackson.
Nah,
what
And
2900
then,
Jackson Street or whatever it
and
was.
then get the fuck up out of there quickly thereafter. Should you stay in Gary?
that's
No.
what we say. Get up out
He
there.
said, "Go
Should you go
take your
see?
picture, roll
Well, I
up."
mean, I'm a Michael Jackson fan. Yeah, I'm a Michael Jackson fan. I got a picture of me in front of Michael Jackson house.
Nice. I'm glad you
So
did.
How old was you?
yeah, but no. As far but anything more than 10 minutes is too
Was you
long
a
in that
kid
picture.
when you
Well,
got the
keep
picture?
it.
Like,
How old was you when you got the
huh?
picture?
You were
Like
grown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you were
33,
grown when
34.
you went
Yeah.
over there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But my thing is about Sentinel Island, right? Is the fact that people don't understand. Like I said, it started off with them throwing spears and shooting arrows. To now they know what a helicopter is, so they have defenses for a helicopter. So their technology is going to grow a little different than ours. So 50 years from now, if they ever figure out metallurgy or how to fabricate metal and shit like that, dog, like their technology to shoot down helicopters is going to advance.
But they
You
size is
understand what
gonna
I'm saying?
always outweigh them because you can drop a missile on their ass.
That what I'm saying. If
No,
it was
that
some raw material over there that any country with any form of military, they'll get that shit.
Just by brute
They'll get that
force.
shit. They're by
but
brute force.
but that's the thing. They
That's
don't know they
Yeah.
don't know
well,
what's
no, that's
over
the thing.
there.
I mean, but if they get, I'm pretty sure they don't dissect that bitch with satellites and shit. It probably ain't shit over there they want, dog. Like you gotta understand, like we was kings and queens and all that shit in Africa and shit. Then the Europeans came with guns, nigga. We had spears and blow darts and shit.
We were that and now see I got to go
Oh
into the
no.
educational phase. We was not kings and queens over there. They did not have guns and shit. That is
No, the Europeans
a
had
miss.
guns.
No, they did
But how they
not.
got you on the boat though?
Who said they got me on the fucking boat?
History says they got you on the boat. Now you sound like now
It's
you sound like now
and
you sound like Alex Jones.
okay. Do you realize that South America was taken over by 500 people based upon history? How does South America speak Spanish?
Well, I understand that it's gonna be people. The Spaniards are obviously motherfuckers got over there and started speaking
And
Spanish.
where is Spain?
In Spain, in
Where is
Europe,
Spain?
I know where Spain at. In Europe, it's shaped like a boot.
I know. Okay, no,
Italy is shaped
Italy
like
is
a boot,
shaped
but
like a
Spain
boot.
is over there, right in that same little area, nigga.
Yeah, it's right across the water. So, if that's the case, if Spain didn't come over here until the 1500s when
So
Cortez,
I ain't getting that deep into it. All I'm saying is, nigga, is motherfuckers came and got niggas and then made them slaves with guns and brought them over here to the
no, but
United
I'm
States.
telling you that the concept of slavery and the middle passage of them transporting slaves and treating them humanely across the fucking ocean to where they survive and get over here and be like, okay, we'll work for you, is a fucking fallacy and a false
Mm.
ideal.
Hold up. Whoa, 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 whoa. You lost me there. What do you mean? So you're saying that the slaves, so they were treated right on the boats? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying they. So you're expecting the niggas that was cutting off niggas' dicks in the fucking 1900s just brought niggas over here across the waters, fed them, and kept
No, the
them.
niggas didn't bring them over. The Europeans brought them over. The white
No,
folks.
I'm saying niggas is Europeans. I'm saying niggas is
Yeah.
European.
Okay.
You're saying these white niggas put 100 and some odd thousand people constantly on boats and brought them across the ocean for travel on ships with no fucking engine, fed them, kept them clothed and sanitarily safe to where they can come over here?
They weren't sanitarily safe. They weren't treated that way. The people who died, they may put 2,000 on the boat, may get hit with 500. They actually had them laid. You got to go to that museum that's over in D.C., bro. They got all that shit.
Yeah, yeah. But it's all
That
false.
ain't false, G. That shit ain't false, dog. They got the boats, they got the chains, they got the whips, they got people who came over here who descendants of them.
Mm.
Like,
And who told you where those chains, whips, and all that shit came
well,
from?
shit, obviously in the damn the museum, nigga, shit.
So somebody had to put that in there, right? And
No,
say these were
you tripping.
slave
You
chains.
tripping though. You tripping.
No, sir,
You
I'm not
tripping. You
tripping
tripping.
because
And now
I'm
you saying
I
slavery ain't them niggas ain't bring them niggas from over there in slavery, and it's well documented that that's what happened.
Right.
no, I'm not saying they didn't bring them over into slavery. I'm saying they brought some people may have
Mm.
survived, but there is no way that you can populate an entire two entire continents with Africanoid people via boat.
Well, no, you're right. It was a lot of them. And the thing is that when they went over there, understand they had guns and muskets and shit. These niggas had say, then they were taught, they were said that they're going to a better life and all this crazy shit till they got on the boat. Now, it was people that was on the boat that said, fuck this shit. I see this shit fucked up. And a lot of people jumped off the motherfucking side of that bitch, dog.
Mm.
Like, it's,
Okay, and where did all right? Hold on. During this transportation, based on those boats they show you at the museum, where did the white people sleep at and live at? What was the living quarters for
on
the
the
white
top of the
people?
boat. They had, dog, it was about this much space, nigga. Enough.
So they hold on. So they lived against the elements to do that.
What do you mean? No, no, they had living cabins though. Understand that. Like it's just even now, motherfucker with an AK can control 100
Oh,
motherfuckers. G,
Mm.
a motherfucker with
so what you're saying, in closed confined quarters in the 1400s, they created two level boats.
no, yes, absolutely. It was a boat. Understand the way they was set up, dog. Like it's foot to head. Like people was shitting on
Hold on, this
themselves.
nigga Rim. Look, this nigga Rim
Not
dead.
dead.
Oh, he
I'm
sleep.
listening.
Let's go ahead. Let's
Listen,
go
let
ahead
me
and
explain
end
something
this
to
Yeah.
you.
show.
All
Let me
right.
explain something to
Uh,
you. I've been drinking cheap liquor, and I've been up since 4:30 this morning. So when we start talking about cannibalistic islands, I'm there. When we start talking about the democracy within those islands, I'm a fade. I'm sorry. So I'm like, yeah, all right, yeah. Them niggas need Jesus, laws, and guns. I don't know outside of that. Like, fuck it. I don't know. I don't know what them niggas need, man. And I'm trying. I was,
all right, let's go ahead. We have been at about 3 hours. So let's cancel the show when we can chop it up in the after show. But go ahead and answer this. Let old P Boy Taylor and the hefty left feet
not
go
gonna keep
ahead.
letting you do
Go
that.
on.
Hold on though. Was this nigga like this here?
Hey, listen, hey, listen,
That nigga was lost the
listen.
fuck
I know
over
exactly how I
Wow.
was. I was like weekend at Bernie's nigga because I was thinking back.
This nigga done fell asleep on the show. Well, thank
Yeah,
y'all
this
for
nigga like that.
thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it. Let me pop in on a Friday night, man.
Fuck you, man. We gonna catch up next episode. But anyway,
Damn, though.
go ahead, man. Let's go, Bryson, and the bow-legged bitches go ahead and
Yeah.
drop their
That's why
track
you sweating. That's why
and
you.
get the fuck out of here. And let's we're gonna chop it up for a couple of minutes before we disengage, man.
This is INMF.